I
This
feel
is
like
good
dog shit.
content. Let's put this live on the air. This is good content we're putting behind the
Well,
paywall.
I'm the guy. Like I have friends, but in my life that I've lived, like I'll go online and I'll see like friends of mine at friends of theirs. They have friends or whatever where they get invited to like weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have never been invited to a wedding.
I used to be, and then they finally were like, "What are we doing? We can't invite this guy anymore."
Yeah, like I have relatives who've gotten
Yeah.
married where I went to their weddings, but I have none of my friends who I thought I was friends with have ever invited me to weddings.
So let me just say, you feel slighted because you haven't been invited, and I didn't mean to rhyme that. Although I am drinking Crackamico tonight. I have a green
Yeah,
screen up so
was
you
that an
can't see it.
offspring? Was that an offspring lyric?
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh yeah, the green screen.
yeah, I can't show you my
You have
Sprite
you
Zero,
have the
dude.
predator sprite.
Yeah, dude. But like as you get older, is like I'm glad that I'm the guy that's not invited to weddings. I was actually thinking about it. That's one thing that I mean, it's probably why I'm not married. It's like I can't imagine proposing to somebody and I can't imagine throwing a wedding. It's just not the type of guy I am.
Oh, it's stupid.
And I don't think I'm going to meet a woman that's in that same mindset.
Proposing is cool. I don't mind that. But then the
Yeah.
wedding, like I got a cousin who had like she's from the like ritzy side of the family. Like
Yeah.
my uncle is of means.
They got tuxedo t-shirts.
Yeah,
They bought at Buc-ee's.
they had tuxedo t-shirts. They had beer helmets
Yeah.
that they passed out for everybody.
Real classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those weddings that cost like tens of thousands of dollars. Like
Yeah.
probably like $40,000 or $50,000 for a wedding. And I mean, like inside of 3 years, they were divorced. Like, the marriage didn't last.
Oh.
And
I've been to quite a few weddings, and like as I've gotten older, people have just realized like I'm not even the type of guy you want to bring to the wedding. Unless you need to keep like divorced guys busy, like,
right,
then you invite me. I don't know how much I can tell of some stories. You know what? I'm just gonna keep this private. It's not me. If it was just my story, I would tell it, but I don't want. I actually mentioned the podcast to a couple of people tonight, and one of the guys owns a sandwich shop in Providence, Rhode Island, and he loves comedy, and so he always invites the comedians there, and he'll make a special sandwich for them.
mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I'm like, I always talking about comedy, and I try not to name anybody. And so today we're talking about it. Somebody asked him, "Who do you listen to?" And I was like, "Don't ruin my friendship with this guy." And all right? Take a guess, Dalton. I'm not even going to tell you. This guy's telling me he's a huge comedy fan. He loves New York comedy. And then people are like, "Oh, what podcast do you listen to?" Rattle him off right now. What he listened to?
He's like a regular guy.
Yeah, he's a regular guy.
He probably like listens to Flagrant or something.
No,
He's a
think
Schultz guy.
No, his top one. Think about who would his top podcast that he listened to would be. He does know who Shane Gillis is.
I don't know because there's so many things. There's so much stuff now. I don't know.
Right off the bat, he says, "I love Kill Tony. That's probably my favorite."
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then he goes into Bert and Tom and Your Mom's House, and I'm in mixed company, so I have to be like, I get it. Yes, you're a comedy fan compared to like my mother or like the average person. That's like their comedy is like, Modern Family or whatever is like slop is given to them on TV. So you have gone past that. You've searched out comedy on your own.
Modern Family is good.
I like Modern Family.
It is good.
But I'm just saying, like, they serve that to you. You know what I mean? Whereas like you have to find, he knows who Legion of Skanks is. But he was like, he watches the, I guess Mark Norman and Joe List was the wildest thing that he listened to. And that was at the
Yeah.
bottom of his list.
Yeah, I think like one of the top, I think I saw that aside from Rogan, like one of the top podcasts is like the Kelsey Brothers podcast.
Yeah.
So, this is like, there's like just most of the country, and this is the way it's always been, like they just, they enjoy what they enjoy. It's like the stuff that's designed to appeal to, the masses. It's like, it's like if you look at like whatever we think is like the best TV shows are that everybody on the internet is talking about, they ain't holding a candle to just like like a CBS procedural, like NCIS
Yeah.
or Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon was blowing Succession out of the water.
I will say, like when I didn't have TV for a while, but I bought like an antenna, like not the like a rabbit ears, but they had these flat things you could put on your window and then just plug it into the cable thing in the back, and you would get a shit ton of channels. But one of the only ones that came in clear played Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I would put that on, and I was like, it's not a bad sitcom.
It's
like,
not as
for a
bad.
sitcom.
It's not as bad as some people will make it out to be. Like there's people who think they have like a taste who will say
Yeah.
the Big Bang Theory sucks. There's far worse shows. the Big Bang Theory. If I'm at the gym and why would I be there? But if that's what's on the TV, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, dude, you can be at the gym, dude. This is
and honestly, conceptually,
wait, hold on a second. Not to throw you under the bus right now, but like, are you going to the gym? Well, I'm sorry for laughing. Are you going to the gym?
No, but the last time I was at a gym, that was what was on the TV.
It's just funny that was your go-to when you're like,
like somewhere you go where you don't have control over like what's on TV, like the gym or the Jiffy Lube, or just like somewhere where you have to sit in a room or walk on a treadmill and there's a TV there.
I get it. I'm not busting your balls, but I am.
I should go to the gym.
The second you said, when I'm at the gym, you caught yourself and you're like, all right, I'm not at the gym, guys. I don't know what the charade is I'm pulling here. Sorry.
Yeah, I need to be at the gym. But I'm more of I'm at the Slim Gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had fat
which
boy,
are gross. Those
fat
are
boy
gross.
dinner. So one of the guys that goes there owns that sub shop. So he brings all sorts of cut subs and wings and like all this really fresh food or whatever. But because I'm a douchebag, I can't eat any. It's got milk, cheese, and meat in it. So he's got all these luxurious food or whatever.
Because you
Jewish. Yeah. So I don't
mix your milk with your meat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't want friggin' Moses to be pissed at me, dude. I can't eat any of this. So I was like, I got to get something on the ride home. But I was kind of in a hurry and I had to get gas. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get a gas station dinner. And so I went in and I got the small personal size, I don't know what you call them, bags of chips. Got Doritos, spicy chili Doritos. I got a personal size, or whatever you call it, like Twizzlers. And then for healthy food, I need to get something healthy. I got a Lenny's and Larry's Snickerdoodle cookie with 9 grams of protein in it.
That's a good cookie.
It's a cookie, and they convince you into like it's being healthy, dude.
Dude, a Lenny and Larry is good. That's a good cookie.
Yeah, well, they're kosher, they're Jewish, they're kosher, they're soy free, they're vegan. I don't know if they're gluten free, but it's like you get one of those, and it's like Nick Mullen, when he used to tell the story, he thought when he was drinking like Arizona iced tea, he was being healthy, and I'm like, I used to do that too.
There was a time, because I think people are more informed now as to like what's in the food products they get.
Yeah,
but I mean, there was a time like, because I remember when I was a kid and my first like interactions with Arizona iced tea, I had the same thing where it was the group, the tall boys, they're all tall boys.
Yeah.
the green tea with ginseng, where it's like a green can with like cherry
Yep.
blossoms and a geisha or something on it.
Yeah,
And
dude.
I remember thinking like, oh, I could drink this instead of Coke, and it's like a healthy alternative.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Yeah.
when we would go, we'd be on the way to the baseball field and we would stop and you'd only have a couple bucks because you're a kid for 99 cents. Like I get that huge can
Mm-hmm.
and just like sip on it all day. And when my buddies were getting like a bottle of soda and putting the cap back on, I was like, oh, those guys are so unhealthy. I'm pretty much Richard Simmons over here with my Arizona iced tea, dude.
I think a lot of people thought that, and then like you learn how to read a nutrition label and you go, oh, there's like 46 grams of sugar in this.
Yeah, so I kind of, now that I've been in nutrition for a while, I did personal training in my 20s and like kind of learned how to eat, but not great, but better than the average person. Cause I went from like, I knew Sunny D wasn't great, but I put Sunny D right there with orange juice, and like orange juice isn't even that great for you. So
No,
it's like,
orange juice is already just like sugar water.
yeah,
Sunny D is like I don't even. It's like nuclear sugar. I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't
you
taste.
couldn't even freeze it. You put it in the freezer and it turned into like a slush.
Yeah, Sunny D is not only is it very unhealthy. I always thought it was really gross. I never liked it.
You have to, yeah. It was like it was one thing that even as a child I remember putting water in it because it was too much for me. Even as a child, and you just wanted to freebase sugars.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I never liked Sunny D Light. I've always I guess when it comes to juice, I've always had like old man juice preferences because I always enjoyed full pulp orange juice and grapefruit juice. You know,
Oh,
like
grapefruit juice isn't that bad. I like a grapefruit. I used to put a little bit of sugar on it and eat a grapefruit with a spoon.
what's good. This is gonna sound crazy. Is grapefruit juice with salt.
Dude, hold on one second. Let me show you. Sponsor of the show.
Well, Dave's grabbing something. Hey, subscribe to Patreon, everybody. Sal texted me. Sal said he'll be back tomorrow, so please subscribe. We found him. All right, here's Dave.
I get these for hydrating from Limit LMNT. They actually do send me free stuff. I'm on their like,
What is it? LMFAO?
Yeah. This is called Limit, but it's like an electrolyte that I take. But
Oh,
this
okay.
is
It's like
actually grapefruit
Pedialyte.
flavored, and this is super salty. This has got 100 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. But this is the grapefruit one that I always get, and it's grapefruit salt, and it's really good. And
Okay.
it's good for you. It's like Gatorade before Gatorade became a soda. It used to be salty, and that's what this stuff is.
Okay.
But it's really good for you, supposedly, if you need electrolytes, and I do. So
Yeah. Well,
I
there's
quit
there's a
caffeine
cocktail. You quit caffeine?
for a couple of days, and I haven't even been able to sleep because I keep having super vivid dreams, like I'm living two lives. You've been talking about that recently.
Like
You know, when you
Severance.
like have like a super good dreams, and you're like, oh, dude, my real life is the dream, and that's my real life when I sleep, and I want to go back to that life because it's so much better. My life sucks compared to what I just
I
went
think that's
through.
the plot of that trans movie that came out last year. That everybody liked.
Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers
Yeah.
One. There was a movie, and I hear it's good actually. Like even there's a guy that Robbie and I are friends with. He's like a big time movie enjoyer, and he's kind of like right wing even. Or I know he voted for Trump. He's a Trump guy, you know.
I love movies. I'm probably one of the best movie watchers
Yeah,
you've ever seen.
but this guy Lores, who is like very particular about movies and very opinionated, he even said this movie was good. But it's that movie that came out. It's called I Saw the TV Glow, and I've been meaning to watch it. Fred Durst is in it, so that's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like it was directed by this trans lady, and apparently it's like there's a lot of it is like an allegory for being trans, but it's like these I don't know, these two
So is
kids,
a trans lady is looks like a
male to
lady?
male to female.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So someone who was born with a penis and testicles,
Looks like a
and
lady. They
and
transition to a lady. Yeah.
yeah, transition to a lady. Sometimes
So, I
looks like
mean,
a lady.
I think my favorite movies were written by two trans ladies.
Oh, The Matrix,
Yeah, The Matrix is
no,
so
Cloud
good.
Atlas.
Yeah. No, I just think back about like, dude, what a rocking year that was. So many fucking good movies came out that year.
1999.
Yeah.
1999 was a banger year for movies for
Yeah, dude.
sure.
I was dating this woman, Leah Carroll. She was a gospel singer, or trying to be. And man, we went to so many kick-ass movies, dude. Like that was, I mean, and I looking back, I was like, man, I should have married her. And then I was like, oh no, like those really were the best movies of my life. It wasn't
Yeah,
her.
99
It
was
was,
really,
it really was the year.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was a really good year for movies. You had The Matrix, you had Fight Club, Office Space. Um, I don't know what else. American Beauty came out that year, but that movie actually sucks. But
It was, dude. Yes, but like compared to the slop that we get now, American Beauty is like a masterpiece. I don't forget what it was, but I was saying like, oh, I don't actually mind whatever or whatever. And somebody's like, dude, that movie was terrible. And I was like, all right, compared to what? Name something that you've seen recently that was better than it.
it's not that everything now is slop. Is that there's so much stuff, and what is allowed to actually succeed, is kind of slop. It's like if you go to a theater now, any movie that somebody like you or I or anyone with like discerning taste would seek out, if it even gets a theatrical run, it's pretty quickly booted out of the theater by some like mega budget Marvel horse shit.
Yeah.
So like you'll like a movie like a classy adult movie will be in a theater for like one weekend, and then the next weekend it's Captain America needs all the screens.
I'm getting like Inception with Wicked. So when it first came out, I was listening to Brendan Sagalow's show, and he was just saying how it was like the best movie he's seen in a long time, and he loved it. And he actually cried at one point, and I was like, Sagalow's a faggot. So
Yeah.
then I keep listening, and I hear some other people. Jace from Lemon Party said he watched it and he really liked it. But I'm like,
Do
okay,
not
well,
let anyone convince you this is a good
I'm
movie.
like, he's from LA, he's gay. Then Lewis liked it, but I'm like, well, he went with James and they're into musicals. So then I'm at this poker thing today, and I heard people over talking Wicked, and I was like, I'm like, what'd you do? You bring your daughter or something? And they're like, no, me and the wife went. And I was like, I'm like, what's happening to the world? So I had to chalk it up as like, there hasn't really been anything else good. So like they go to that and they're like, oh wow, this is great. You know what I mean? You know what I
There's
mean?
no
That
way it's good. There's no way that movie's good. I'm not watching. I'm not even gonna like take the time to watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it unless it's like presented to me, and then I'm
It
just gonna
it looks
go
like
with the flow.
shit. Like I don't mind musicals. Musicals are fun. The movie looks like it just doesn't even look good. Like the actual way it was shot. Like it just looks
Yeah.
like a bunch of like washed out nothing. It doesn't even look at I don't know. It doesn't look at it.
No, I
Like
hear you.
if you watch the Wizard of Oz, and this is like something that it seems like movies have trouble capturing now because everything is like digital and HD and all that. So it's like it's easier to shoot things. And I guess I don't know. I don't know
You know
anything
what? You
about
know
it.
what?
I don't know. But like
It
if you
was,
watch the Wizard of Oz, right, and
yeah.
it's Technicolor, it's like very stylized, and it almost has this like by design because the plot of the movie is it feels like it's like a dream. It's like this dreamlike feel to it now, and so movies now don't. A lot of movies like struggle to capture that feeling of like
I felt like when they Wicked, when I watched it filmed, you know how sometimes they film a movie like it's a play?
yeah.
I feel like they filmed that like it's a play, but they zoomed out too far. That's what the feeling that I was getting. Like you're kind of like watching the movie as if it's a movie when it's back, and they're trying to show you this like huge world that they've created. But I think it would have played better if they filmed it like up close a little bit,
Yeah.
more, and
It
just
looks like
had
a
some
big
like
piece of shit.
theatrical stuff where they zoomed out.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 wasn't bad. Jim Carrey's good in that.
I watched all 3 trailers. You guys brought that up on the Crowder Boys, and so I was like, all right, I got to see what this is all about. So I watched all 3 trailers back to back.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can see why these are entertaining. And I could see the progression of Jim Carrey. I didn't know, did they make up a character, his grandfather or something, or his dad?
I don't know. I'm not well versed in Sonic the Hedgehog lore. So I think they might have just made that character up for the movie. I don't know.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be like a split ego or something. And I was watching it on my phone, so I couldn't tell if it was aged Jim Carrey and he's playing himself in 2 characters, and like
No, that
something happened.
character, they got him in old man makeup, and it's supposed to be the main Dr. Robotnik's granddad.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's a good movie. It's actually those movies are better than you think they would be.
Yep.
They're better than they've exceeded every single expectation that anyone had. But I mean, the only reason for like an adult to watch those movies is for Jim Carrey. I don't get anything out of the any of the Sonic the Hedgehog shit. Like I don't give a shit.
I know you don't watch Legion of Skanks anymore, but this week was Anthony Cumia, Ari, and Jim Norton.
Oh
And
boy.
it was actually a pretty good episode.
All the stars are here.
They did play with exactly what you're thinking they played with, but they did bring up Wicked, and it was funny because Lewis was talking about how like it's a racial thing, and she's green, but she's really black. So they did a bit where this is the podcast where we talk about bits from other podcasts, folks.
About other shows.
Check out bits, dude. People do them; they're funny.
Bits are cool skits,
but they did a pretty good joke where they were talking about all the green people in Hollywood that are supposedly black. And so somebody said, "Oh, Kermit the Frog." And Lewis came up with a hilarious joke right away and goes, "Yeah, well, he is dating a fat pig." Huge laugh in the room, right?
That's good.
Yeah, huge laugh. And then Lewis pauses for a second. He's like, "Jay's pissed right now because he said that in the morning meeting, and I stole the joke from him." So I was like, "Wow, Lewis has got a banger." And it was actually Jay's joke.
The morning meeting? What did they?
Or they had like a meeting or whatever before the show where they went
dress rehearsal for their podcast.
I don't know what it is. I think they just go over some of the bits or whatever. But it was really good. Jim Norton is funny again. He did some he was pretty good on that. And Anthony dances around. He does the whole Mullen thing where he dances around the N-word and like slurs the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too bad. I think, guys, check out podcasts if you're watching. If you guys are watching at home, I highly recommend watching.
Yeah,
podcasts.
You still enjoy podcasts. Check out other podcasts.
Yeah.
They're all free. I mean, there are a lot of free ones, and some of them are good.
Yeah.
I don't listen to many. I don't consume much of anything anymore except for
you're a cinephile, right?
I'm a certified cinephile.
You watch movies in your downtime?
Sometimes. I don't watch a ton of anything. Like I'm busy as hell, like working,
mm-hmm.
and I have to work like harder and harder because I keep like a fool is quick to part with his money. So I keep like just being stupid with money and losing a ton of money. So they have to work harder. So I'm like, weirdly, it's like the horrible investments I've made have like in a way benefited me and made me like a great salesman. Because now I'm like desperately trying to
most people do it with a wife and kids. You decided to do it with meme coins.
Yeah. Just like losing a ton of money on like meme coins and bad stocks and gambling. It's like that has driven me to like get really good at sales, where now I am like genuinely developing a pretty worthwhile skill set as a salesman,
Yep.
and like starting to make pretty decent money, like within the I think I've been at this job for like a little over a year now. And so like from the time I started till now, I've gone from making just my base pay during training to like now I probably make like over double that just with because of commission.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
getting good at sales. Just, the more I lose in meme coins, the better I get at sales. But then I don't have like the mental bandwidth to like enjoy anything.
Yeah, that's why I had to cut caffeine because I was just getting up really early, pounding caffeine all day, working. I was sleeping, but I don't think I was getting restful sleep. And I was
Mhm.
starting to not find stuff like humorous anymore. I was losing my sense of humor. I was watching podcasts and in just my head, I was like, yeah, it's funny. Oh, that's good. Oh, this is very entertaining. Instead of like actually being there. Um, So I'm trying to make some corrections. I don't know. Some of it might be winter. It's freaking -6 out right now. It's dark. I don't leave the house for like days at a time.
Yeah, it's seasonal. It's like back in the day we allowed ourselves to experience the seasons.
Yeah.
So back in the I don't know. I have no. This is based on nothing actually. Do not know what I'm talking about. But
It's
just
a podcast. That's number one of being a professional podcaster is just pretend like you know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
just start
Yeah.
saying things with brazen confidence. They're completely unfounded that
Yeah.
you thought of on the fly. But nowadays we're on like a 24/7 cycle where not like nothing ever slows down. Like you're always the market,
Yeah.
the
Never
all
sleeps.
no, the market.
The whole
Money
world's the
never
big apple.
sleeps. Yeah, money
Yeah.
never sleeps. And so like any job you have or like whatever it is you do, it doesn't matter if it's winter and it's brutally cold and the crops aren't growing this time of year. You're still expected to perform the same as if it
Yeah.
was the spring.
I still got to give 40% of my income to the government, so I better figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if I feel like in like Little House on the Prairie times, when it comes winter, that's like a time to just be like, well, nature is very punishing right now. So
Cool.
let's go ahead and huddle together. A couple of kids are going to die. They're not going to make it out of this one. As is, such is the case for winter, but we're just not going to like work. We can't work as hard because there's, nothing to do.
Even as an adult, I don't know if you guys don't get this in Texas. I don't know what the equivalent would be, maybe a heat wave or something. We get snow days here still where you have like a blizzard and like everything kind of shuts down and you gotta like shovel and you're out shoveling your cars and the plows. And not just the light snow we get there. I'm talking about a heavy snow that shuts things down.
Yeah.
Everything does kind of stop and you feel like, oh, you don't have to go, like you don't die if you everybody just takes a day off to
Yeah.
like help one another. And we used to get that a lot more than we do now. It's like you said,
Yeah.
it's go, go, go rat race, by the way.
Yeah. Which is like, not the way that we're, I don't know. It just doesn't feel human, because like the winter time is like a time of, it's cold. First off, it's cold, but it's also like a time of reflection.
Guys, you heard it here first. Wintertime is cold.
Yeah,
Meteorologist, let's take it to meteorologist Dalton Pruitt
yeah,
in the booth.
folks, it's winter, it's cold. Uh, and so it's a time like naturally that lends itself to slowing down, reflecting,
Yeah.
and preparing for the coming bloom of the spring.
Yeah.
But we don't have that nowadays. It's just like because everybody works like nobody like very few people like work human jobs. They work in like they're like cashiers at Kohl's or something, which is like a very unnatural way to live your life. Is having to work these like the jobs that exist now.
Yeah.
And if it snows, especially jobs like that, Coles is one. They're going to expect you to come in and work. Because I've worked those. I do those shitty jobs like those entry level like just cashier jobs. Like I remember worked at Home Depot when I was in college in Texas, North Texas, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Every winter would get it like a bad snow day here and there. Maybe it would last a couple weeks. Who knows?
Oh,
But
you get that you said you get that in Texas?
North Texas would have
Yeah.
Every winter would have like a pretty bad snow day would come through.
Gotcha.
And it could last like a few days.
And it's even worse for you guys because you're just not ready.
Yeah, nobody's prepared for it. So
yeah, it's cold every day here. And so we're getting prepared for -6 degrees today, but it's been 7 degrees all week.
Yeah, and Texas is all highways and freeways. Like everything's scattered and you have to drive everywhere. So like nobody was ever prepared for it. It was always chaos on the roads. There would always be like crazy accidents.
Yes, I noticed that when I was there. It rained and somebody told me not to drive and I was like, whatever. And before I can pull out, I could see the highway and I watched a car accident happen and then I took an Uber. I think I told the story on here before. But like it was crazy because of the hydroplane and the way that the highways in Texas were set up when I went down there.
Yeah, they're a nightmare. I hate driving. I hate driving. It sucks.
I got a question for you.
What?
You're an English major, right?
Yeah.
So why is it cashier and not cashier? Everything's but with cashier, it's IER. What other things do we put IER at the end?
That was not one of my I don't think I ever took like
some 100 I'm gonna be one of those guys. 100K degree and you don't even got nothing for it.
They don't really teach etymology in reading and writing classes.
Think so. Skier makes sense because the I's at the end already. What else do we have? Like, I can't think of another word that ends in IER instead of ER. Like, it should be a cashier, right? Not a cashier.
I don't know, man.
let's riff this out here. It's a good.
Well, a cashier would be like,
what's the Jewish guy, the tall Jewish guy with the depression?
Gary Goldman.
Yeah, let's do a Gary Goldman joke here right now. Cashiers, IER.
I don't know. I've never even.
Or a Gallagher joke where we would have the board and we'd be like,
"Oh hell
yeah, CASHER."
Yeah, those are good. I love those. People forget. People think Gallagher is just the watermelon. With the sledgehammer.
Oh, he was much more.
Yeah, he was a very sharp and insightful wordsmith.
Yeah. And
the sledgehammer didn't come out till like the last 10, 15 minutes.
That was a cutting edge comedy bit, dude. He had the whole thing, dude. He was like so people make fun of like Zach Amico, but like at least he's owning the fact that he's like a clown.
Yeah.
And Gallagher's kind of the same way, where he was like dressed as a clown. He had his hair cut like a clown.
Yeah,
Ian Finance kind of does it too now.
Yeah. He is funny though, because sometimes he does like take himself seriously.
Yeah,
you gotta pick a lane, man. You can't look like fucking Wooly Willy and be talking about like communism and like politics and shit.
I laugh because I think back on the show sometimes, and I'll say something that's like a super dry, serious joke that's meant to be a joke, but everybody takes it serious. Or you take it serious and it was over here. So I just go with it and then I never correct it at the end. So when I reflect back on the show, it's funny that like there's people out there that think that sometimes when I'm being disingenuous as a joke, they think it's serious. So no one really knows who I am. Not that I'm Joe Gorman, but like deep cut. Oh yeah, I gotta start doing this for the home audience since we're getting a bigger viewer thing. Oh, Drew Huntley.
I don't even know how to do this here. I don't think this is good. I don't think this will go well. He gave me $10 and he wants me to do 3 to 5 minutes of stand up. and he wants you to do a minute or two after. Yeah, man, we might do that. Thank you for the money.
Do you have any bits? I was working on a bit in the car ride.
I don't have any bits, dude. I fire up the camera and I just start letting it rip, and then hope for the best.
All right, this is how I do it on Kill Tony, right? I would come out there and I look like this, and I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, I know what you're thinking. Is this guy?
This guy looks like ZZ Bottom.
Is this guy on the no-fly list because of his religion or because of his political beliefs? Right? Is he? Does his wife wear a burqa or a Bucky sweatshirt? Huh? This guy knows what I'm talking about over here. And then that's why I don't do stand up. Or I would do, and I'm like, I bet you don't know if I'm laughing or that's a duck call. And that's it. Am I a Muslim or am I Duck Dynasty guy? This would play better with a crowd. I think the ceilings are too tall here. This would be crushing.
Drew just floated us a bad idea, but I feel like
I've never done stand up.
I think what I said is pretty good.
What?
That you look like ZZ Bottom.
ZZ Bottom, yeah.
Yeah, you get fucked in the ass.
Because I'm gay.
Yeah. But I guess that would mean that ZZ Top is they're the ones fucking you in the ass. So there's ZZ Top and then you're ZZ Bottom.
Yeah. So there's 3 and there's 2 of them.
There's 2.
So I'm getting double penetrated in my bottom. I think
one of them's dead now.
Well, that's going to be even creepier.
Yeah, so the only 2 that are still alive is the other one with the beard and then the guy.
Don't they all have beards?
No. Billy Gibbons and then the other guy have a beard. And then the drummer, ironically, his name is Frank Beard, but he has no beard.
This is a good segue into the Nirvana thing that recently went on. Bands. Dude, have you guys heard about this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
That was crazy. But hold on.
I got a different take than
before we complain about women. What the fuck is going on with all the money? Trump done been president like a week and a half, and
how much are eggs?
The whole economy done crashed. I don't know what I am upset.
What, your meme coins are down?
The meme market is in shambles.
Crypto's down too.
Crypto is destroyed. Stock market's down. Yeah. Trump and his dumbass bitch wife launched meme coins that I guess destroyed the economy. Planes are falling out of the sky. Dude, nothing.
Philadelphia's beating each other up.
Yeah, and these motherfuckers, it's like, dude, JD Vance is in an interview, and this lady asks him what I think is like a pretty pertinent question, which is everything is still expensive, and then he goes, well, we've only, it's only been like a week of the administration. It's going to take time. Let's watch them drag that shit out for the next 4 years, where they just keep saying it's going to take time. He's only been president 6 months. It's going to take time. He's only been president a year.
I do hear what you're saying, but it has only been. He's done a lot since 20 days. I'm not saying he did good or bad. I'm just saying you can't fix the economy in 10 days.
Yeah.
Well, here's all that happens. Here's all that happens.
Doing crypto scams.
So here's the thing. When he gave everybody like $600 a week, whatever, for a large amount of time, that causes inflation, hyperinflation. And then he's out of office. And whether or not he could have stopped it or not, he took credit for it. So he could have said, look, I wasn't for the vaccine, but instead he's like, the Trump vaccines, they were amazing. We got them out. We rolled them out great. So he wants to take credit for everything that people like for the most part. And so he printed and gave all that money out. And then it caused inflation during Biden's term. And then Biden didn't slow the inflation down. He just kept going with it. But I have seen melanated people talking about, well, Trump's in office. Where are our checks at? I haven't received any of my checks from Donald because they thought they were going to, like, now that he's taken away SNAP and everything, a lot of people are pissed because they thought, oh, he gave us checks when he was in office last time, so we're going to get checks again. So that ain't happening. All that does is cause inflation. So it's going to be, I don't know how they turn the economy around, but I don't think you can do it in a couple of days. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if for 4 years they just said it takes longer than 4 years. But then if they did fix it and it happens during the next term, if JD Vance isn't there as the new next president and a new like Democrat comes in and wins and the economy starts going good because they did fix stuff, Trump won't get credit for it. Whoever the Democrat is will get credit for it when they're in office. Yeah. Like, but just like Biden got blamed for what Trump did with the printing of the money. So they're all fucking crooks. We just got to get rich, dude, and move to Romania and buy supercars.
Well, I was going to get rich on meme coins until.
Dude, let's move to India and make meme coins. That's who's making all the money. Let's become ruggers. You want to be a couple of ruggers? Yeah, we got to move to a third world country like Dubai, like a first world country like Dubai.
It actually might be a more viable business venture, dude.
And become meme coin makers. And just rug people for $10K a week.
I was going to say, just like actually make rugs, like learn how to use the loom. Sell rugs at the bazaar.
Me and my grandmother had a loom, and I used to make rugs. I still have rag rugs in my house from me and my grandmother.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like them. They remind me of my childhood.
Oh, look at that $5 from Bubbler with the David Lynch profile picture. Hey Dalton, hey Jack Murphy. It's nice to see you back on the podcast scene. I don't know who Jack Murphy is, but
yeah. Thanks for the money, Bubbler.
Thank you for the money. Please keep giving me money. Please give me money. The whole economy is tits up. Crypto's upside down. People get pissed when they. By the way, like, dude, we did the last week we were doing the Crowder Boys on the Patreon. We had Drew Flores come on, and he's been like going manic with meme coins lately.
That's why I had to quit. It was making me manic in one day.
Yeah, so he comes on and immediately starts talking about meme coins. I didn't realize like the visceral reaction people have to when you start talking about people got very upset that we were talking about crypto. They're so fucking mad.
I understand it, and because I deal with this a lot in my personal life. Not with the meme coins, but like when you're talking about something that people feel like they're missing out on and they don't know the first part of getting in, it frustrates them. So like I'll get up in the morning and I'll be making breakfast. I'll turn my phone on. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Scroll some videos on YouTube or whatever. And it's all like self-help and like with crypto stuff. So the guy will be like, yeah, so, I've been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin now and doing that. And I haven't been doing that, and I should. And so it gives me a visceral reaction like, okay, fuck you. I don't want to watch this. I know. So I think a lot of the people that aren't in crypto have a visceral reaction because they want to be in, but they don't know the first step and they feel like they're missing out. And so when you bring it up, it's a constant reminder. They're like, yes, I know. I don't know how to do crypto and I'm missing out and I just don't care.
Yeah, it's like I had a roommate one time who was a woman and she would always talk about like, a sexual encounter she had. And I get so fucking mad because I wasn't having sex and she wouldn't have sex with me.
Yeah. Fucking women, dude.
Yeah.
Have sex with me already. Damn it.
So crypto's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
Dude. When it's so tough as a dude when you get in a dry spell. I remember I was in a super dry spell when I first moved up to New Hampshire, and I was trying to get out of the house more. So I was going to play poker, and I was going to go play poker. I was going to play poker at this place, and I'm 50. The guys I'm playing with are like 35 is the youngest, up to like 70. And the waitresses know that we're at the money table. Not me. I'm the brokest guy at the table. These are like rich guys playing poker. But the waitresses are coming over and they're all like 23, 24 tight bodies, like waitress bodies with the tits all pushed up. And I am like, I can't help myself but stare, and I'm getting like a visceral reaction inside myself. And like
Yeah.
I'm giving them like evil eyes, like I'm literally like just thinking like
You're getting pussy angry.
yeah, I'm getting pussy angry. Dude, I'm like,
You're getting
it's the
that
worst
pussy
feeling.
rage.
So like, and I had a good run in my 20s. I had a decent run in my 30s. It's getting harder and harder as I age. But the dating market, you guys are so fucked. The women are so much more fucked than they were when I was dating. Unrealistic, like because of all the shit they've seen online, and not all of them. I know that there's good ladies out there or whatever, but I was like, man, I can't imagine. There's like this guy that's been calling into Danny Polachuk's show that like never been laid, and then he finally got a blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, "Oh, tell us about it." And he paid a hooker $600 in Vegas for a blowjob with a condom.
Nice.
And so everybody's busting his balls, but it's like, that's not. I mean, a woman usually costs more than $600. You know what I mean? Like, like if you were to date somebody between dinner and all the bullshit you have to put up with and gasoline
I know,
or
but a
whatever.
blowjob with a condom is pretty underwhelming.
Yes, but if you're like you've never had anything like to get that, it must have been amazing.
Sure.
You just got to let the guy get a win. You know what I mean? Like, especially nowadays when, I mean, I'm fighting over the same women you guys are, and I'm old, like I'm older. No one wants a
You gotta
50-year-old pussy
like
either.
really like a good dry spell is like you gotta change your perspective on everything's about perspective, right? So it's like a good dry spell is an opportunity for transcendence. It's when you say, I am now releasing myself from the shackles of the pleasures of the flesh. Like I actually, just through whatever circumstance, I haven't had sex in however long, which has already shown me, no matter how angry I am in this moment that I haven't had sex, I can survive without it. So now I got a few choices. I can stay angry and keep trying to go get pussy and maybe end up paying for pussy and succumb to the material world, or I can like reflect on this feeling, sit with myself, and make peace with my mind not getting pussy. And then eventually, and then like through that,
You can't do that. You think you can, but like there's a huge difference when you just got laid and then you go to the supermarket and like the hot cashier's talking to you. You're like, "Oh yeah, what's up? What's up?" When you haven't been laid in a year and the hot cashier's talking to you, you're like, "All right, this is the one."
yeah, well, that's the thing. You have to like
this supermodel that's 10 years younger than me. This is the one that's gonna.
but that's
It's
the
not
thing
rational.
is,
Your brain is making up stories.
in order to attract anyone, you do have to
Yeah,
like
you're right.
not. It's that sort of a tightrope, that paradoxical thing where
Yeah,
it's like the thing, that what you desire eludes
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So therefore, to attract what you desire, you must not desire it.
yeah. And we
And
have
so,
worse than that too. You have a Roger Rabbit syndrome like I do too, where it's like sometimes you don't know if you're doing a bit. Like with
yeah,
Quinfinite, it's like you're like all right, I'm doing a bit. Hey, what are you getting into tonight? But there's a huge part of you like, but seriously, what are you getting into tonight?
yeah. There is a part of me that's where I'm like joking around with these girls online, but then there is that part of me that's like, could this be real?
Yeah,
Could there be something?
you have to step. I always step back because I go for the joke first, which is only funny to me because most people aren't seeing what I'm responding in the tweets. So it's only funny for me. And then after a while, you're like, I don't know where this bit started and ended anymore. Like,
Yeah, I used to be
I don't
bad
know if I
about
hate
that.
Joe. I don't even know if I hate Joe List. I just started trolling him one day and making fun of his chin because I thought it was funny the more I did it. And now I'm like, I don't even know if I don't like him or if I like him. I
I used
don't
to be
think I
bad.
don't dislike him, but like I've
I
been
used to
doing
be
it for
bad
so
about
long.
that. where I would like,
It's just
I don't know.
funny.
I guess I always felt like I needed to prove myself or something. Where I always wanted to be on and be doing bits, and eventually I realized like, well, this is pushing people away. Like they're getting like perturbed by my constant
Yeah.
ribaldry.
Yeah.
And then also I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Like, if people just don't like my company as it is, then I should just go find other people to be around.
Yeah.
Um, and then also it's just exhausting. Like at a certain point, I got to a point where I was like, I can see why Robin Williams killed himself. If he's living this way constantly,
Yeah.
by the time you get to 60, you go, yeah, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Dude, I'm 50 and I'm not suicidal, but I remember I was having a tough go about it in my 30s. And maybe I've told this story on here to you before, but my buddy's father was like chief of police in our town. He literally just looked at me like, no joke. He was like, dude, it's never that bad. You can always kill yourself. And he was dead serious.
Hell
And
yeah.
I was like, you know what? He's right, dude. Like I could always just kill myself. So now that I'm older and I'm not suicidal, dude, don't call any 800 numbers or whatever. But like some days I'm just like, dude, I got to do this for another 50 years. Like I'm exercising and working out. I was like, oh, no, you don't. Like you could just have a mountain climbing accident, dude, and kill yourself. Like when
Yeah.
you like I can choose to end it if I wanted to. So it's not that bad. Guys, suicide is no laughing matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
dial 1-800-273-TALK.
Yeah.
If you're 1-800-273-8255. It's if you need help remembering it, there's that song by the that biracial fellow.
Yeah. 1-887 suicide for kids. That's 1-887 suicide for kids. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, check out the suicide hotline.
Check
It's
out the
out there.
suicide hotline.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
I don't usually get bothered by the chat. I know you've gotten bothered a couple times, and
Yeah.
Sal's the exact opposite. All he does is read the chat. But like last week, we had Florida woman on. Sorry, she's a woman. And I was telling some story about a lady or whatever, and somebody in the chat was just going hard. Every time Dave talks, he tells a story about a woman, it's a lie. Dave's a liar. And it was just eating me alive. And I was like, look, I got a girl on the show, so stop pissing me off or I won't get any more ladies on the show for you guys.
No,
but
she already has a bigger channel than I do. She went in and started her own channel, and she's already doing better.
Oh, what's funny is she tweeted, I haven't been on Twitter all week, but I did see her tweet like she was talking to her mom and she was saying like, Mom, I'm like all the other Twitch streamers that look like models. And she's like, oh, well, just be yourself. It's like she's dealing with what we deal with, but she's dealing with it with other women. And we're dealing with it with just women in general. Like, so she's on easy mode, but then she's like, well, women that show her tits that look like models are on easy mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was looking up because we got to do just a little bit of Bible study. I'm trying to look up Bible verses about suicide. And
thou shalt not suicide yourself.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I mean, I'm not seeing anything where it's like it makes any direct like condemnation or commandment to like not. I guess it would fall under the umbrella of thou shalt not kill. Yeah. But in terms of like, I guess like inspiring you, we got Psalms 34:18-19. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Amen. So there you go. Call the number from the if you're struggling, call the number from the biracial rapper, the song.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you remember this? That guy Logic. He did a song that was just
I know Logic.
the
Yeah.
suicide hotline number where he's like, "Yo,
I don't remember that.
1-800, don't kill yourself." It
Oh,
was something like that.
since we're back to music, do you want to get into Nirvana?
Oh
I got
yeah,
a different take on it than you.
I only watched the because I do really like Saint Vincent. I've listened to her music. I really like her albums. She has a great album with David Byrne. You know, I think she's a great musician. And so I watched the clip where she was performing "Breed" with the band, where she was
Yeah.
on lead, and it was fucking dog shit. It was really like surprisingly bad.
Yeah. So who was that other band a little while ago that got a female lead singer? Was it Paramore?
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park. Yeah.
Paramore's
So,
always had a female. Her name is
yeah.
what the fuck is her name? I forget her name, but Haley
Well,
Williams.
here's my thought, right? So when I saw the Lincoln Park thing, I was like, these woke assholes. So then all I saw was your retweet. I didn't get to read it because I haven't been on Twitter that much this week. And it's just like Nirvana. And I just saw one chick. So I thought it was only that chick. So then I did a little research after Zach Amico tweeted it out and said, this was actually really good. He liked everything. So I was like, okay, so Zach must have saw something different than Dalton because they have similar tastes when it comes to movies and stuff. So they have similar tastes. So I looked and they had like 3 or 4 female singers. One of them was Dave Grohl's daughter.
Yeah, I didn't
One was
see every
Joan
performance.
yeah.
I only watched the one with Saint Vincent, and it was like what I saw. I was like, this is really bad.
Here's what I think. You're going to have a Nirvana reunion show, right? And you really can't replace Kurt Cobain. So at first I thought they were doing a woman to be like woke, kind of like Linkin Park. But then I was like, maybe Dave Grohl's a genius. And he's like, look, we're not going to be able to replace Kurt with anybody. So let's just give them women because everybody's going to assume they suck anyways. And anybody that replaces Kurt is going to suck. So let's just like do it with women. And if anybody's going to do it, having my daughter there would be cool and Kurt would appreciate that. So I think it was just kind of like, look, we know this is going to suck. So we're just going to have some females do it. So you can look at them and be excited. And I'm having my daughter because she's part of the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was as serious as I did when I first thought it. I think it was just kind of like, he's irreplaceable.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were doing a fun thing to help support the people who lost to whatever in the fires.
Yeah.
I just, the performance I saw from Saint Vincent was like upsettingly bad because she's amazing. Like she's a really good musician, and I've enjoyed all of her music. But like her with that band performing that song, like whatever was going on that night, it sounded terrible.
What I didn't like about it the most,
and by the way, and someone in the chat brought this up. I meant to mention this to you. You could not be further off thinking that the lady for Lincoln Park is woke. That was a woke thing, because what everyone found out about her when that was announced was that she's a Scientologist, and she was like a staunch defender of Danny Masterson, who is a convicted rapist.
Well, Ashton Kutcher is a non-convicted murderer. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Speaking of that, the 70s show, I was going to say this earlier, is similar to the Big Bang Theory. It was just slop, but it was a decent sitcom, even though everybody on it was dirtbags.
It was a big deal when I was a kid. That was one of the better show, like sitcoms that was on. I watched it all the time.
Mila Kunis is like
Mila Kunis from the island of Crete.
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
Like I know she was 14 in the beginning, but I think I'm going to say I was 14 when I was watching it back then. Let's just not do any math here. But I am Greek, but I'm also Russian. So that whole dark hair, like I don't know. She hits a lot of DNA points for me that just triggers my primal instincts. I'm sure a
Yeah,
lot of guys felt like that, but like it was sort of the redhead. Donna was hot as hell on
dude,
there, and
Donna
then
was hot.
the
I was
curly
always
hair,
a
even the curly haired dude's wife, the older lady, was hot.
yeah, yeah. I was always a Donna guy. I was a
Yeah,
Donna
me
kid. I
Donna
wanted
was hot too.
because Donna
Yeah,
was hot. She was a big bitch. She's like one of
yeah,
those ladies who could like step on you and dominate you.
yeah. She was
Um,
corn fed.
yeah, she was. Yeah, I always thought Donna
Yeah,
was pretty hot. And of age. But I mean, I was a child when it was on, so
yeah. Redheads are just. So I grew up with a different world, like literally the TV show, A Different World, the
oh
spin-off from
yeah,
the Covies. And so I had a lot of crushes on black women when I was younger. I
yeah,
really liked Freddie, the mixed chick on there with the freckles.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
she was like she was probably not the most attractive on the show, but and not meant to be. Like they wanted to make like Whitney, I think, uh, the hottest one, and then like Lisa Bonet was on there, a couple of other ones, but she was not traditionally attractive, but I found her attractive
Yeah. I
and
always thought
exotic
I
back
always thought
then.
Hillary Banks was hot.
Yeah,
Hillary was a good looking color.
but they wanted her to be hot. Freddie was supposed to be quirky.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like they fit like she's hot and she's supposed to be hot. Freddie wore like that like a brimmed hat and like was like a hippie chick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever watched it. Yeah, that's before my time. So
Yeah, I
like
think it was before
when it comes to like
before.
older sitcoms, I'm very familiar with like whatever was on like airing reruns on like Nick at Night and TV Land.
Yeah. So what was the one where all the girls that lived in like a boarding house with Mrs. Garrett? Did you
What?
watch that?
No.
So there was like it was like a orphanage with all like teenage girls. And they had like a hot chick, a smart chick, a jock chick. And I forgot all about it, but then somebody this week, because I had said that Gwen Stefani in the Bananas video, that's where female masculinity should have stopped. When females were acting like
You know what's
boys.
fun, dude? It's so funny you bring that up because I was like watching that music video last night for some reason,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't have let her do that. She shouldn't have been able to get away with that. That was
With the
fucking
Asian
crazy.
people or the banana song?
The banana song that she because
It's
this
but at
dude
least she had Asians in the video. It would have been a lot different if she had black people in the video
the
and she's
fucking
singing that.
well you talking about the like when she like when she had left No Doubt and came back as Gwen Stefani and did a
Yeah.
hollaback girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she shouldn't have been allowed to do that. She should have been like excoriated and sent back into the wastelands regroup with
I
No
got you.
Doubt. Because I was watching that
Oh, you
video. And I
didn't
was like,
like her solo career, is what you're saying.
that song honestly, the only
That's when
thing
she
I
was like on
know
her Asian, skinny Asian
the
like
the
history. That it only lasted like 6 months.
the only thing I know of her solo career is that song because I was so put off by it when it happened that I stopped paying attention.
Mhm.
But then, like going back and like watching that video again, I'm like, this is fucking crazy. That this is what she decided to do after No Doubt,
Yeah.
and she still was able to be successful. This is like embarrassing.
You know what's good about her though? So I'm trying to think of some women that have this type of body. It's her, and then she's a little bit bigger, but you know the Interrupters, the band. It's got a female lead, Amy something,
No,
I think. They both look really good in dicky pants.
yeah,
I think Tulsi Gabbard's like another one. You have to have like a certain waist and butt, and it's like looks really good on you.
yeah.
Uh, what's the female singer for the Interrupters? Am I the only Interrupters fan here?
I don't know, man.
You would like them. They got a pretty good discography. You've never heard she's kerosene?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interrupters. I guess the
It's
lead
like
singer.
another ska band.
I guess they're ska punk. They're like American punk,
Okay.
or like Cali punk, but they're very anti-government. Yeah, Amy. They say her last name's Interrupter, but that's not true.
I know what you mean, though. There's like certain types of shorties who can really fill out a pair of jeans.
Yeah, like it's just certain time. Like they would her Gwen Stefani, Dickies. They are Amy when she's on stage in the
Like
Dickies.
you
Then
want
you
to
got
smell,
other
you want
people
to
like.
like.
Do you remember when Jennifer Aniston had the perfect body for like those khaki pants with the back pockets on them? You know what I'm talking about?
Like carpenter pants.
No, they were like khaki pants, but but like yeah, I guess they were. They were like khakis, but the pockets like stuck out, so it like added shape to the ass.
Oh
This
yeah.
is like peak horniness. This is like peak
No,
horniness.
dude, I'm with you. Yeah, there is something about like clothing that's like the opposite of revealing. Like it's more concealed clothing where you still are just like it just unlocks another part of horniness for you where you go, damn, dude, look at
Yeah.
this bitch in these overalls.
Yeah, like I don't understand like feet fetishes and stuff like that when guys have it. But then I see, you know, Jennifer Aniston in those khaki shorts, and I was like, it triggers something. And I was like, am I getting turned on by shorts right now? So I guess people get turned on by feet. I'm getting turned on by shorts because I'm not
Mhm.
seeing an ass. They're actually seeing the feet. I'm seeing a material, and then I'm daydreaming about the buttocks.
Well, yeah, there's like, you know, there's like just loose ass, but then when it's packed up in a pair of shorts, the shorts recontextualize the ass,
Yeah.
and so it's it takes on a whole new visual for you.
So we talked about it earlier because this is Bible. We do have a Bible spin to this a little bit, but I'm looking at my thing here, which is the college here in Athens that was all philosophers teaching math and stuff to each other peer to peer. But Socrates talked a lot about like just
Ass.
waiting to, he's like, when will I get old enough that I won't be burdened by my horniness? Basically, he
Oh,
wrote, so he didn't write anything about it. He's got nothing written or whatever. He talked a lot about it, even into his 70s. He didn't die until his 90s, but he talked to Plato and Aristotle, and was just like, guys, I thought this was gonna go away, but I'm still fucking horny. And I'm
yeah,
70. When will this burden of the flesh disappear? And it was just funny because he's like solving all these huge philosophical problems, and he just can't solve the philosophical problem of horniness in the long run. So
yeah.
maybe that's just what it is.
That's just like a man thing. Like I think every man, independent of Socrates, like if you had no concept of him ever even saying that, every man starts having those thoughts where they go, dude, like the horniness is ruining my life.
Yeah, dude. But we wouldn't have people. We wouldn't have more people if it wasn't for that. And women are exact opposite. So women get like super horny until their eggs dry up, and then you're supposed to stay with them for life. So God has to freaking get rid of their estrogen and give them testosterone so they're cool enough to hang out with. So they have to change your wife into a man in
Mm,
the later years so you can actually deal with hanging out with her, make her cool with some testosterone.
yeah.
That's why it's called menopause.
Hmm.
Yeah, because God turns into a man for you. Train.
Oh,
I think that's why
yeah.
women think that kids can be trans because they turn into men in their old age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's science. This is all science. You can look this up on
Sorry, I've been
ChatGPT.
eating cashews. I'm like, I've only had just was just like grazed all day. Like all I had to eat today was like pickles and
I've been
a
eating some
couple.
pickles myself.
Yeah, I had some Wahlburgers pickles, like
I heard.
Wahlburgers brand. They're really good. And a couple slices of cheese, and then I had some I had like dried squid that you buy at, like the Korean store, like that.
Oh, God dang.
You never had that?
I
It's
thought,
good.
no, no, no. I was just thinking like I had Doritos, Twizzlers, and a Snickerdoodle cookie and a Sprite, and I was like, man, I'm eating like crazy ass mixture today. And you're like, yeah, I had dried squid, some pickles. I mean, some cashews. It's like whenever people are listening to the meals that we make, you're like, yeah, so I mixed up some hot sauce, some some mini sausages, and I'm like, yeah, you got to take chia seeds, some
Yeah,
cashew milk, some cocoa, and some dates. You grind those up in a blender and you put whipped cream on them. They do. This does all taste good, by the way. I'm sure of it.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I guess like my whole life is just like just throughout any day, just grabbing whatever I can, and I guess it all adds up to like ridiculous combinations of food. But
Same. Yeah.
you know, yeah, I had some Wahlburgers pickles; those are good. I had a couple slices of cheese. I had one cheddar, one Colby Jack, one Swiss to go with the pickles.
I'm gonna tell you,
Um,
I guarantee you those pickles are the best.
they're
And the
so
pick
good.
and the pickles. What do we have out here? They come in plastic. If they came in a glass jar, they'd be better. But it's got like a dancing pickle on it or whatever. I forget what it is, but
Is it
they're really good.
Grillos? I think they're
Yeah,
called
Grillos,
yeah,
like
those are good.
spices and stuff. But what I make a lot of because it's cheap, I think it's like you get like 5 of them for like 99 cents or like $1.99. I just make my own overnight pickles. I just take the cucumbers, I cut the ends off, and then I cut them in half or quarters, but usually just half. Then I fork the rind on the outside a little bit,
Yeah,
and then I just put it overnight in like peppercorns, some garlic, some apple cider vinegar, and water in a mason jar. 24
yeah,
hours is enough. And you just make super tangy homemade pickles, and they're super cheap. And then you
yeah.
can
My
reuse that brine.
oh, hold on. Yes, Murdiska Hargitay. My mom
Gesundheit.
used to, my mom would make something. I don't know if it was like a southern thing or what, but growing up, it was something called cucumber salad, where it was like cucumbers and tomatoes and onions,
Yeah, I make that.
in
That's really good.
yeah, in like a vinegar brine or something. It was always
Oh
like
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Yeah, the tanginess, like the tartness of the vinegar is really good. I make and this is the first time I ever started making was this year. Now I can't stop making them. Is pickled red uh onions.
Those are good. Yeah,
You slice them up really thin and you just basically boil some vinegar. But like you can put them on anything. I make these like seitan burgers. It's basically like a hamburger made of wheat protein. But you do a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of
wait,
mustard.
you make Satan burgers,
Yeah, not seitan, not seitan.
dude? You making devil burgers?
S-E-S. I feel like Eagles. E-L.
Actually, any burger place I go to that has something on the menu called a Diablo burger,
Yeah.
that's usually a good burger. It's spicy,
Yep.
but I've been to a few places before where they got something called a Diablo burger that's pretty good.
Yeah. Kenny's got it there in the chat. Seitan, Seitan. I make mine homemade. I don't buy it. So I make homemade seitan and I'll grind it up and I can make like all sorts of stuff. So I make a really good like a pulled pork, barbecued pork sandwich out of this stuff. But dude, red pickled onions, they're one of my top, I would say my top 4 condiments right now. Number 1 being homemade barbecue sauce. Let's list the condiments here, dog. I think my right now for me, my number 1 condiment is homemade barbecue sauce, followed by red pickled onions, followed by probably just ketchup and then mustard. But dude, red pickled onions are like you can put them on anything, dude. You can put them on like like eggs in the morning. You can put them on a hamburger. You can put them on friggin'. You can just eat them raw. They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed I've always enjoyed Worcestershire sauce.
Oh
That's a good
yeah.
that's a very good condiment.
I got some of that in the fridge.
In the fridge, it doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Once you open it, you don't have to refrigerate it.
Mm-mm. In fact, most condiments you don't really have to refrigerate. Ketchup, mustard,
I put everything in the fridge.
no. I think
I
barbecue
just
sauce you
open.
might. I think you do have to refrigerate barbecue sauce maybe, but yeah, Worcestershire sauce definitely you don't have to refrigerate that. That's a good one. A1, tasty. Heinz 57.
Heinz 57, that's a good one. That's pretty much what my barbecue sauce is. It's a spicy ketchup that I make, but it's got more vinegar than a 57.
Yeah, yeah. Heinz 57 is good. Sriracha, that's a very
So
good
sriracha's good. I don't
versatile.
count hot sauce. I put that in hot sauce more than a condiment. And I put hot sauce on everything, so I don't consider it a condiment. I consider it a spice, a liquid spice. Is
Okay,
that is that
I think it is technically a condiment.
I think you're right. Yeah. This this we'll have to use your English major here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the consistency of sriracha, like the viscousness of it, it falls more into condiment territory.
Definitely.
You
But
know,
I couldn't even list mine then. If I had to do hot sauces, my number one hot sauce right now is I'm using that chipotle flavored chi-chis.
okay,
I put that, and then I like the green pepper chi-chis.
yeah,
Is chi-chis the one with the wooden peg on the top that's makes you
no,
seem like it's fancy?
That's Cholula.
Oh, I'm using Cholula's then. Yeah.
Chi-Chi's is actually a salsa, not a sauce. It's like a
Okay.
Chi-Chi is
Yes.
like a
So
chunky
I'm
salsa.
doing Cholula's. And the only thing I have different is when I make that cauliflower, that barbecue cauliflower, I have a Fred's hot sauce, a big glass jar of it in the fridge as well. Because
Yeah,
I,
those are my go-tos when it comes to hot sauces. Frank's Red Hot,
yeah,
Crystal, Louisiana. Those are always on rotation. And then like there's a habanero sauce I really like. It's like El Yucateca or something. That one's a good one.
I just started
Um,
getting Yellowbird, and when I first got it, it was new and fresh. But like now that I've had it, I'm back to the Chaluta, whatever it's called.
Cholula.
Yeah, their Chipotle and their green one, just even their chili garlic, so good.
Yeah.
Mm,
But I've been
magnifico.
on the record, when it comes to
Like they
hot
say in
sauce.
Mexico, magnifico.
Yes, as they say in Mexico, buen magnifico.
Donald Trump, I know I'm wearing orange for you today. I know you're listening to this, or maybe Barron is. I know Barron's a fan of comedy podcasts. Please don't deport my hot sauces.
Don't deport the Cholula lady. Dude,
Yeah,
I'm fucking
kick
fuck these fucking Trump guys, by the way. Dude, he fucking decimated the meme market. Him and his wife just turned it upside down, and
yeah.
now all the liquid there's not the meme all the memes are gone. They're done. All the memes are fucking done.
Well, I've been saying this like for a couple months, but like dude, the Trump people are just as annoying now as the Democrats were before. Like that party of that chick in the lingerie or whatever that everybody's like fawning over, and there's like a party of all these like dudes in like khakis and
Oh,
blue tucking
the
shirts.
young Republicans party that they
Dude, I would never want to be there in 100 years. You're never gonna convince me that that's fun and cool to be there. Like,
I would like to be invited, but
oh, dude, no, you don't, dude. Dude, can
same
you
with
even imagine
same with
sitting in that room,
weddings.
dude? Just picture me in that room, dude. My skin's crawling just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't vibe with any of those people. No, but
no,
I mean,
stop making me pretend. And like most people that voted for Trump wouldn't either. Now they're trying to pretend like they just want. They're making it's like they're making a new group of elites, right? Instead of them being trans, gay, black women in wheelchairs, they're all like Melania Trump douchebags, like frat and sorority douchebags. So like, I don't want those. I don't want to hang with those people either.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just a punk, and maybe that's why I go to Skankfest or whatever. But like, you're not gonna make me think that it's cool to wear a blue button-up shirt tucked into my gray slacks.
It's cool how like in this country like progress is either impossible or just like grind like a moves at like a glacial pace because you have like two political parties that are at such odds with each other that when one gets in office and does things, and then if the other one gets in at some point, their mission is just to undo everything that was already done.
Yeah.
So they're just constantly going back and forth, like you know,
Except the
erase.
taxes. They never just
Yeah,
undo all the taxes.
yeah, but just like all the like every all whatever anyone had worked on for the last however many years. It seems like the mission right now is just to undo all the like identity politics stuff that they don't like and get rid of, and just like so now I you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like we can actually like move forward with anything because you just have like these two political parties that are at odds with each other yet are
Yeah.
the ones that run the country, but they don't actually work together. Or I get well, honestly, they probably do, but like when it comes to like regular people, you know what I
I
mean?
thought for sure you're gonna say, when I think about it, both sides are kind of
Both sides
the
are kind of the same, yeah.
same. I was trying to find a picture of the chicks or whatever. So they got a picture of that chick in like her lingerie and like a couple of blondes next to her. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like dishonest and be like, of course they're attractive. And if I had to do literally nothing at all to bed them, you know what I mean? And I fornicated, then I would.
Right.
But when I look at them and people like, yeah, we're so back. These chicks are so hot. It's like, you've never hung out with one of those chicks and they're so fucking annoying. Like you wouldn't last 10 minutes trying to deal with her.
Yeah, they are
They're just as annoying as the chick with the glasses that's talking about the indigenous people, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
They're just right wing annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that a while ago that like all the Trump and right wing people or all that are just like they're now like in their version of whatever annoyed anyone with like the left or liberals or stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, like they have their own sort of like I don't know whatever you call it, like Reddit style uh behavior
Yeah,
that's
and it's
just as
annoying.
obnoxious.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's already it I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon and be this obnoxious. Or like I saw this cringy ass like uh two Republican dudes that looked homosexual as far as I was concerned, but maybe not. Sitting on a couch, they're like singing a song about like so like the Tom McDonald song with Roseanne was very calculated, and they did get number 1 on 3 different Billboard charts, and it's Roseanne, so you can give them like they're being dumb, and she's a comedian, and like she's shaking her ass, and he's like it was just dumb to be like gives people a victory, rah, rah. But there was like 2 dudes, like just I don't even know what they were singing. It was so obnoxious though, and it was like, oh, you're doing exactly what the left did, but from the right now. And I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, both
Like,
sides.
yeah, both sides are
Both sides are good.
no, but it's like they don't. But here's the thing that's so frustrating: it's like they don't even realize they're doing it. They don't
Yeah.
real the stuff that they've been calling cringe for 4 years. They're now doing, but they don't like. Oh, but it's not cringe when I make a gay political song. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool when I do it.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
gayest thing people do is like when they become like almost like sycophantic toward some politician or whatever. Like 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 the Trump supporters are
yeah,
very much like in favor of Trump, like just the guy Trump,
yeah,
regardless of it's like well no he's an elected representative, so like he better be doing shit that I that's gonna like help. Otherwise, I couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, I can't support somebody who's like making my life worse.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But they all get behind just like the person and not like the actual. I don't know. However, it should work. I guess. Like, I don't know.
I had to eat a little bit of crow because he did pardon Ross Ulbricht. and I didn't think he was gonna. I thought it was just a lie to get the libertarian vote. It's but I wasn't loud about it because I actually have met Lynn, who's at a couple events, his mother and stuff, and they work hard. And there was a bunch of women involved that were like, just I don't know. There was no reason to hurt their feelings and be like, he's never, you know what I mean? Like just reminding them that like, not only is he, I didn't think he was going to get out. You okay?
Yeah.
That he's like thinks he's going to get out and then he wasn't going to get out. So I just kept my mouth shut, but I didn't believe that he was going to free him. And then he did. And I was like, oh, he actually did keep his word on
That's
that.
cool. Didn't he like immediately lose like a bunch of money on meme coins or something?
Russ
Ulbricht?
Probably.
I don't know.
I bet she's got a bunch of Bitcoin hidden somewhere or whatever.
That's
they
what
had
I heard.
Like billions of dollars of Bitcoin from Silk Road that they confiscated that Biden tried to liquidate, but they didn't quite do it yet. So I don't know what Trump's going to do with that, or if the FBI is just going to steal it. And like, did you see like Nancy Pelosi like sold all her NVIDIA right before DeepSeek?
Yeah,
release the thing or whatever. And it's like fuck all you guys. You're just fucking us so hard in the fucking ass all the time. Like you're all a bunch of fucking crooks, you know.
Yeah.
It's
I never
like,
thought
it's not even frustrating anymore because it's so blatant, but it's like we don't do anything about it. So like I can't even get angry about it because it's, you know, it'd be like you'd be like the guy running over the hill with the gun, and then you turn around and no one would be behind you. You just get killed by the government.
Yeah, Trump is like this very like populist president. Like people think he's of the people, or he's like a just a guy. Tells it like it is. That's all performance. I mean, he's the same as fucking anybody. Like he's extremely wealthy. He's an elite. He's only acting in the interest of himself, his family, and his friends.
Yeah, and he's cuddling up like the Jimmy Carter. I was thinking about it because I think it was like my junior year in high school, maybe. I ran for class president and won.
Yeah.
And I just basically went up there and did like stupid stand up for my speech. Like it wasn't like it was just like I didn't know you had to do anything. So I'm glad I didn't win senior year because they have to plan. But anyways, I just remember like you run those elections or whatever, and you were still in the same cool groups that you were in, and you stay in the same like sports groups or whatever, and you weren't mad at anybody afterwards. And I never took him serious. When I watched the Jimmy Carter thing, or even when he was getting sworn in and they're all standing there, I was like, oh, this is just like my junior year. Like,
yeah,
he's talking to Obama at the Jimmy Carter thing. They sat him right next to one another. Like, he's right next to Kamala. She's upset, but she's still making just as much money. She's just not as much. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it'd be like if you went to an open, you know what I mean? Like if you went to an open mic and somebody went on before you and he crushed, and then you didn't crush, but you're like, okay, but we're both getting paid for the.
Well, they all, I guess, like presumably,
I
guess they all do like work together. Like Republicans and Democrats,
yeah,
all work together, and I get the idea is supposed to be like representation, but at the end of the day, I guess they're all so corrupt. They represent the elite, and then we're all just kind of left with our dicks in our hands.
Yeah, if I know anything about people, dude, they love crypto talk, but they love political talk.
Dude, crypto, politics, religion. Check this out. So this is the look at this prepared shredded squid. You see that? There's a little bit.
I did actually. I saw some big muscular guy on X today or yesterday. He said, "Yeah, dried fish are really high in protein, low in calories," and he pulled out sardines.
Dude, this stuff is good, man.
So you're gonna do some mukbang? You guys want to do some mukbang?
Dude, look at this. Well, the camera's not there. It is.
Yeah, there we go. You're eating predator chunks, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm eating predator chunks. This stuff is good, man.
All right, guys, pay up. Dalton's gonna do a mukbang with this with this dried squid. Is it
It's kind
salted?
of salty and kind of sweet. I don't know what they like.
So is it like preserved? Like you could take it camping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It says consuming this product can expose you to chemicals including lead, cadmium, mercury, which are known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm. Well, I'm not in California.
I'll be fine. I'm not even in
No.
California, idiots.
Yeah,
what?
I don't know what it's
So
like.
mercury makes sense. Is if it eat too much of it?
Well, I always heard that oh, thank you, Kenny. Pilot and game. Both sides are the same now. Planes be crashing. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're getting like little tiny 911s every week now.
Yeah, I saw a plane crash in Philly or something next to Tim Butterly's house.
Yeah. Yeah, like a medical jet crash into a mall or something.
Yeah, and then I saw that helicopter thing's really interesting because it looks like it's got ties to Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
and the same group that was involved or around the area of the Vegas shooting.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Steve's Nuts, for the $2. Thank you.
Steve's nuts.
Yeah, I
Is that a
always
female avatar? Steve's nuts.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
looks like some broad.
Hot. Horny.
I always heard that yeah, like pregnant women shouldn't eat too much like fish or sushi or something because
Yeah.
mercury. There's like mercury in it.
Yeah, I know
So,
that sushi, certain types of sushi are bad because of parasites in the mercury
yeah,
for the
so I don't
baby.
know. But I'm not getting pregnant anytime soon.
No. Guys, hate. I have noticed like now that I'm not on caffeine, I'm more present and I'm fine with the fact. I think I was taking caffeine for like a vacation from myself. You ever just like you've been broke, and like
Fucking broke now. The
yeah, like when
crypto's tanking.
like my ranges are really big, so my income from the DeFi. Somebody asked, I think it was Drew Huntley, like a couple weeks ago, like why don't I live full time off of DeFi? It's because I would be beholden. I don't have enough in it right now that I'd still be beholden to the market, and I would have to budget right now. I want to get fuck you money in there before I move, but because I'm more present in everything, I don't feel rushed. I was like, on the way home, I was in Massachusetts. I was thinking about getting weed, like edibles. And I was like, I've been bored lately and I've been cooped up in the house. I'm like, maybe I'll get some weed. Just even if I have a bad trip, it's something different. And I don't recommend it, but did you ever do that? Like, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get fucked up, even if it's in a bad way and it's scary. At least it's not the normal thing. And
Many
times.
help
help pass like 6 hours of my life.
There were many times where I said anything is better than being sober right now. So even like a nightmare terror trip,
Yeah,
I would take to the boredom of just being sober.
I have a good life. That's the problem. Like I think women deal with it in a much worse way. That's why they like cheat or like cause fights or whatever. It's like my life is going well and it's so calm and so relaxing. And my childhood was so fucked up, and getting to this point was so stressful. Like I was constantly running from like terror and danger and starvation. But now that I'm here, it's like, oh, this is like contentment and happiness. It's kind of boring because everything leading up to this was so intense.
Yeah.
And I was caffeinating in high levels to keep that anxiety. And now I've quit for 2 days and I'm just really calm and present. And it feels weird. feels extremely weird.
No, I drink coffee first thing in the morning or afternoon, depending on the day, because my work schedule sucks, dude. Like, my days off are Tuesday and Wednesday, so my work week starts on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Thursday and Friday, I work noon to 10. So, I wake up late and I clock in. I don't get off till 10. But then on the weekends, I work 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, I'm 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then Monday, I'm back to the closing shift. So, I'm destabilized in terms of work week. So the first thing I do every day before work is have coffee.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done working and I've decompressed, watched my shows, my stories, or done
Your
what I want to
stories
do.
are on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I decide I want to go to sleep. I can't fucking go to sleep. So
Oh, really?
I take like anywhere from 8 to 12 Benadryls to go to
No, dude,
sleep.
you gotta stop doing that.
And so then
I get a good sleep cocktail for you, but go on.
yeah, but then that doesn't, that allows me to go to sleep, but it's not like a restful sleep. So I wake up feeling terrible, which
You need magnesium, by the way.
necessitates the coffee.
Yeah.
So, like I wake up out of the deep Benadryl nightmares, and and I feel like I don't feel like rejuvenated or rested. So immediately I gotta have coffee.
Yes.
And then I
That's what I
clock
was
in.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I clock in, and then for the next 8 hours, I'm getting like screamed at by black people. And yeah, go ahead.
We are racist.
Oh. Yeah. Actually, today was good. Like I am getting better at sales, and it's cool to have to be like self-sufficient in that way, to have like this
Yeah.
transferable skill set, or this thing I can just do wherever. Because like if you just give me like a phone and teach me how to use like whatever your point of sale software is, I can do sales anywhere at this point.
Yep.
With anybody. Because like I had a really good day today.
Nice.
I moved a lot of product.
Yeah.
And
a little jizzler. Give the people a little bit of jizzler, dude. You're basically what's his face from American Psycho, dude.
Yeah, I'm Patrick Bateman, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. I think I'm more like Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Fat and stupid.
What was I gonna say? Oh, so here's the cocktail that works for me. So I take 5-HTP before bed, which is basically like the stuff that's in turkey.
Homosexual testicles penis.
Yeah, homosexual testicles penis. I put one of those in my mouth before bed. Aptitude, I think it's called. And then magnesium glycate, I think. Glycemate. Figure out which one it is. I think it's glycemate before bed. So magnesium, aptitude, ashwagandha, which is like a testosterone building thing, but it's a healing thing. And then the HTP. And then I just recently started taking a cortisol blocker, which is like black peppercorn and turmeric and a bunch of stuff in a pill form. But dude, that mixture there, you don't even need the melatonin that some people take. If you're drinking a lot of the Coca-Cola during the day, it's binding to the magnesium and probably
I'm drinking Pepsi. I'm drinking Pepsi today.
It's probably giving you a magnesium deficiency. And if you up your magnesium, dude, it's going to relax you and help you sleep a lot better.
Okay.
So my whole thing with sleeping is it doesn't matter. I'll go to bed tonight at 2 a.m. I wake up at 5. If I go to bed at 5 p.m., I wake up at 5 a.m. So like I can sleep, but my clock's set to wake up at 5 a.m. in my brain. But when I started having the vivid dreams recently, which were amazing, I woke up and I was like, I want to get back into that dream. I don't want to live my actual life. I want to go back to that world. I was like, oh, I haven't been dreaming. My watch is telling me I'm getting to REM sleep, but I haven't been because I actually haven't been dreaming. And now I've been waking up and my first thought isn't coffee. my first thought is like, oh, I'm rested and I'm awake. Let's get some water. So I'm finally around the corner. And I highly recommend dreaming. I mean, the ancient Aztecs, the ancient Greece, the
Yo, guys,
Egyptians,
check out Dreams.
dude.
Yo, shout out to Dreams.
They all talk about how dreams are like your subconscious, like, they're basically like clips, but in your brain when you're sleeping, guys.
You know what's funny?
You're gonna love.
When I got off work tonight, I like took a nap after work, and it was like it wasn't even. It was like such a fitful sleep because truly the dream I kept having because I was in and out of sleep, but I kept going back to this like bad dream where it was just me looking at my DMs and I had overslept, and you had messaged me and said, "All right, I got to forget about it. I guess like I've been sitting here waiting on you. And it's like midnight now."
Yeah.
And you still
I've
haven't shown
never
up for
waited
your own.
2 hours. I'll just assume that something happened.
Yeah, I would wake up in a panic and look at my phone and be like, "Oh, this still like another hour and a half."
You guys appreciate that. Look at Dalton, the stress he's putting on himself for the show, guys.
Yeah,
That's professional right there.
yeah.
You think Sal ever wakes up in a cold sweat thinking he's late for the show? I can guarantee you that does not happen.
Sal does wake up sweating, but that's just of his size. He did text me today and said he wants to get back at it tomorrow. I mean, I don't, all of our lives are fucking, not you, Dave, but like the rest of us our lives are crumbling. So it's like, I don't hold anything against Sal.
No, my life's not great. Like, I used to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in New Hampshire now. I had a good time moving up here, but I just saw like all my childhood friends today, and they're all married with kids and stuff. Some of them are divorced with kids now.
Nice.
But like, I've been up here and like working. I do some of the stuff. I work out. I run. I have a lot of freedom, but after a while, like I hadn't, like besides the grocery store or whatever, I hadn't had human contact since last Saturday.
Yeah.
Like when I hung out with you guys online or whatever. So like I talked to the guy at the gym, but that's not my friend. And the guy at the post office knows me, but he's not my buddy. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of people around, but I'm pretty much it's just cold. I just stay in, I just work out, and I just work all day. So it eats at you, and people just I would recommend that you guys, and I know it's tough, get wives or get some wives or get some kids or whatever, because you're gonna get older. And I'm still picky, but when I was younger, I had some opportunities with some women I probably could have worked on that could have been wives. But at the time, I was just like, yeah, there'll be another one. I'll tell you guys, you young kids out there, it's not all about gas digital and and stand-up shows.
No, I'm very envious of all my friends who like got married and had kids, and I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm doing, dude. That's why I stopped even looking at Instagram, because that's like the website people go to like show off how good their life is going. And so like anytime I check Instagram, I'm just seeing like, oh, this person got engaged, or this wedding just happened, or they're on this vacation. It's like, dude, no, I'll stay on Twitter where everybody's miserable and, attacking each other.
Yeah, try to hurt my feelings so I can feel something. You guys don't troll me enough.
Yeah, dude. Like, I hate seeing people happy because it reminds me of how unhappy I am. I'd rather wallow in my own misery, in the misery of others.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a little Bible verse real quick, just to, because that's this.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's the thesis of this show. Here's something. Ezra, not better than, just Ezra.
That was my first thing that I thought.
That's dude. One of the best Norm Macdonald jokes is he was like coming in at top of the Billboard charts. Number one, better than Ezra. Coming in at number two, Ezra.
He's the goat, dude. You can't
and
tell me
and here's
anybody was better than him.
a nice little accompaniment to that. I don't know if this was like because of that joke, because that was on Weekend Update or what. I'm sure this was like in reference to that. If you watch Dirty Work, the scene when they're in the bar
Mm.
right before the bar fight happens, that song is playing, the big hit they had. And it's good. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Remember that song?
Not when you sing it like that. I don't.
All right. We'll do. Hey, you know what? I'll read a verse and then we'll
And then we'll
listen to
listen.
"Good" by Better Than Ezra.
Okay.
So here we go. This is Ezra, chapter 3, verse 8. Now, in the second year of their coming unto the house of God at Jerusalem, in the second month, began Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests and the Levites, and all they that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem, and appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forward the work of the house of the Lord. Then stood Jeshua with his sons and his brethren Cadmiel and his sons, the sons of Judah, together to set forward the workmen in the house of God, the sons of Henadad, with their sons and their brethren, the Levites. When the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals to praise the Lord after the ordinance of David, king of Israel. And they sang together by chorus and praising and giving thanks unto the Lord, because he is good, for his mercy endureth forever toward Israel. And all you could tell this was written before 19. You can tell this was written before like 1948.
Yeah. He's talking about the actual land of
Yeah,
Israel back then when Noah's sons were having sons of sons, not the current battle of Israel. The
right.
actual descendants of Israel, who was the one of the descendants of Noah, who meant beloved of God. Well, David means beloved of God. Israel meant chosen of God, maybe. I forget what
I think Jordan
Israel meant.
Peterson says that Israel means like wrestles with God or tussles with God or something.
Yeah.
And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. But many of the priests and Levites and chief of the fathers, who were ancient men that had seen the first house when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, wept with a loud voice, and many shouted aloud for joy, so that the people could not discern the noise of the shout of joy from the noise of the weeping of the people. For the people shouted with a loud shout, and the noise was heard afar off. Amen. So that is,
Amen.
so that's one of them passages there that's just laying some track, really just moving the plot forward, and
Yeah, when you
because of
read
like
the
a series of
Bible for like
events.
the first time, if you haven't done it before, there's a whole bunch of Genesis that you really shouldn't worry too much about. It's just name after name after name. And it's like Isaiah's brother Thomas, who's Thomas's brother Ezekiel,
Yeah.
16 lived 800 years. And then this guy lived 900 years. And they're going through all the lineage. You want to skip forward to like the snake stuff. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot of
then,
like just keep like record keeping in the
yeah,
Bible.
yeah, you wanna fast forward that if you've never done it before. Because when I first tried to go through the Bible, and I did my cross country trip and I got it on audio, I kept zoning out and I was like, all right, I'm here to do the Bible. I gotta like wicked listen. And it's like, no, if you just let the Bible play and it takes you somewhere in your mind, it takes you to these good places where you start exploring and thinking. So it kind of like pushes through even like in osmosis. So it's almost meditative. So if I wouldn't put a lot of stress if you ever listen to the Bible on like paying it 100% attention, because it'll bring you to a good place that you might need to go. And it's almost like God guiding you there. And when I say bring you someplace, I mean like thought wise.
Yeah.
It'll get you thinking on something, and when you walk away, you definitely feel better than when you started, even if you zoned out when the guy was speaking. Yeah.
Which is all I do if I try to listen to an audiobook. I can't.
It
I've never
depends.
like. I've tried to listen to audiobooks before, and it's like maybe 10 minutes in, I'm completely like I'm just like, oh, I don't know what is happening. I'm like completely zoned out.
Yeah, it depends. So I do have a lot of paper books that I like to read. And I used to hate reading because of school, but as I got older, I liked it. But I don't put so much structure on it anymore. So, like, I'll go to bed tonight if I have time, even if it's like 2 a.m., I'll just pick up a book and just read a couple pages so that I'm like setting my brain into analog after being like in a digital like
Yeah.
world all
No,
day.
reading is tight, and I always enjoyed reading. It's like as I got older and all these like new distractions started to exist, I like can't focus anymore. I can't like
Yeah.
I
Well, you
really
probably read,
struggle.
you used to read for long periods of time. What I do is I go to bed and sometimes I can only read like a page before I zone out. And then other times I read like 2 chapters.
Yeah,
And so I make the habit just try to read, not like let's read this book like I
w-
used to.
right. Well, yeah, and I grew up in like a small town, so we got everything late. Is like when it came to like technology.
Yeah.
So like high speed internet and smartphones and all that stuff was like came to us after everyone else had gotten it.
Yeah.
So I was like Matilda when I was a kid. Like I would just like just like go to I would just like go to the
Just hanging out with Danny DeVito sounds pretty cool, dude.
yeah, I would just like go to the school library and just grab a book and just sit there and like read for like an hour at a stretch,
Yeah.
and check out the book, and I would just like be reading all the time. And then as like more and more new distractions started to happen, I now I've like completely lost the ability to focus. Like I have TikTok brain.
I was saying this today, and the more I said it, the more they're like, no, 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 because everybody was trying to cope around me. But I try to get off my phone, and it's tough, especially in the winter. I'm alone, but like I will wake up and first thing in the morning, I'll grab my phone, check what time it is, see the temperature. But I can just look outside, and I'm not going outside, so I don't need the temperature. So like, why am I grabbing my phone? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
then I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I put on classical music, and people are like, well, that's not that bad. It's like, it's not, except I'm filling every moment of my day with something from the phone. So it'll go from classical music while I'm working on the computer, and then I'll eat breakfast and I'll put a podcast on, and then the podcast goes and I'll take a shower. So I put on like punk music. It's like I used to spend my whole day in my head, my thoughts, having
yeah.
conversations, working things out,
That is
grabbing my notebook and like writing down something that I wanted to work on or write or a song or a project I wanted to do. And now I fill all that time with other people's content, and it's taken my creativity away from me.
that's something I miss about being like when I went nuts, like when I was crazy and going through my mental break, is that like I just did I stopped I just stopped with all that. Like I would
Yeah,
just like
dude.
I would wake up in the morning, I'm crazy, like I'm like
Dude,
breaking from
sure, I'm
reality.
naked. I'm rubbing peanut butter all over my body.
Yeah,
but
but I do.
but I wasn't on my phone.
Yeah, I remember just like I would just had no desire to watch TV or look at my phone or do anything like that. I would just like immediately just go outside and just walk around with like nothing. Just like walk
Yeah.
around and just like think insane thoughts to myself
It's like those
and be
there's
paranoid.
it's like those little clips on X where it's like guys in the street beating each other up, or like a crazy homeless guy throwing shit at the wall, and it's just like just the guy living life without any cell phones.
Yeah, yeah, that was me for sure.
Yeah. Dude, I miss it, dude. When I was in peak, like, so if you spend a lot of time by yourself, and by that I mean like in your head having conversations, you will drive yourself crazy. But out of the madness, if you can learn how to control it, you can start figuring out a shit ton of stuff. And I used to like figure out like I used to just write and write and write all this stuff. And I would do these hour-long meditations and figure out all this stuff. And then I was like, I gotta get some of this out and I gotta do a book or a philosophy show or something. And then eventually I just wore myself out and I couldn't be crazy anymore. And I had to snap back to reality. And then
Yeah.
sometimes I want to get back there. And now I don't like, I lost my creativity. I can't get my muse. I can't find it anymore.
You know, it's ebbs and flows. You know, life is peaks and valleys, and sometimes you just gotta, wait out the periods of just nothing. Nothing's
When,
happening.
when you were doing comedy though, right? Did you just like wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, and you were seeing everything through writing jokes to get on
I mean, I
stage?
was like obsessed with just like the creative process and all that, but it was also like a distraction. Like I was neglecting, what I should have been doing with my life in
Yeah.
favor of pursuing, my like creative endeavors, and eventually my whole life just like fell apart. But I was definitely like just constantly thinking of like with the in the of the mind of like how do I create something new, like new jokes or
Yeah.
something to write or whatever.
I
And
don't
then
know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, and then it was just and then it was just like I can't wait to go pay money to do an open mic.
I gotta bring 5 friends and pay $60.
Yeah, it's really inefficient. It's like at this point,
Yeah.
I think people are like attracted to like the romantic idea of like being a comedian from decades ago.
Yep.
Whereas like nowadays, it's such a like grueling process and it's such a scam, and I don't even know. I don't know what it even like leads to, like how you progress and grow from like sitting there writing your jokes. That's good, but then like having the where you have to go to like actually practice it or work on it, like these
Yeah.
open mics, they seem so like counterproductive that I mean, I think like nowadays you probably are better served just like having a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Depending if you want a creative outlet. I know you guys are talking about Mullen, and I have a little bit of insight to him. Well, not anything in depth. He's like a fucked up, crazy person, but like he, he started stand up when he was 16. So
Yeah.
picture you're like, I want to be a stand-up comedian, and you're getting on stage and you're telling jokes, and that's your goal. And then you become a very popular podcaster and you're making money podcast. But their dream wasn't to be podcasters. So Nick Mullen I wouldn't want him to hear this and have his feelings hurt or whatever. He's failing at being a stand-up comic.
Okay, whatever.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
No,
dude,
like,
there's
but you know what
worse
I mean?
lives. There's worse
No, no,
lives
no.
you
Of
can
course
live.
there is, but I'm saying like there's a lot of people that are trying to be stand-ups that start a podcast that become excellent podcasters, but then Lewis leans into it. He's like, look, I'm an okay comedian. I'm working on being a better comedian, but I'm a great podcaster. And whether or not he is or not, I believe that he is.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I would
so
say to anybody, because I've heard people express that sentiment before, where they're like, I wanted to be a comedian on a podcast, or it's like, how about you figure out a little something called gratitude?
no, I
You fucking
100% agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying like his other people are passing him by in the stand-up thing that aren't even that great. And it bothers me too. Like I see you guys and I really like appreciate the work. I've watched Robbie now for like 6 years, like progress and get better and better at what he's doing. And then you have like but there's part of being a stand-up is people kind of have to like you. Even
yeah,
if they don't, not that people don't like Robbie, that's not where this is going. I'm saying like they have to like you, and then when you get to a show, you either have to figure out them liking you really quick if they don't know you, if you're a stranger, because if they don't like you, they can't open up to laugh. But if they really like you and they show up to your show, you don't even have to be that good and you'll laugh just because they like you and they want to be part of it. So you'll see these YouTubers that have these followings where a lot of people really like them from YouTube, and then they go do stand up and it stinks. They're
Yeah.
basically just talking and making fun of the crowd and making like not even fart jokes, like worse than fart jokes. And the crowd loves it because they love their YouTube personality guy.
Yeah.
And so now those guys are getting just as much, if not more, stage time than people that are doing the old school craft of the Dave Attell's of the world that are road dogging it and bringing Mark Norman
Yeah.
going to these
I mean,
different
me and
shows.
Craig talked about this. Is like nowadays, like the move is to establish yourself on the internet and then leverage that to do like other things you want to do.
Yeah.
Because anyone who's trying to like work their way through like whatever antiquated system they think is like the right way to do it, where it's like do grind out the clubs or whatever, you're gonna hit a wall pretty quick trying to do that. Like you're not gonna
Yeah.
progress that much. Some people, I mean, I have seen some people like really succeed that way. It's like very, very, very few. You know.
But then you get like, the more I think about Haktua, the more I actually kind of appreciate what she did for us. Is she's kind of like a meme coin compared to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has a similar cycle and it'll eventually go to zero. It might not be for 100 years, but there will be better technology than Bitcoin eventually.
Yeah.
It'll go to zero. Meme coins just do that, but within 35 minutes. She went from, I made a stupid joke on the internet, people liked me. I parlayed that into a podcast. If I could have just held myself together, I could have made a respectable living as a podcaster, and like women like Whitney Cummings would have like took me under their wing, and I could have
And
built the
Whitney
thing.
Houston.
Yeah, and Whitney Houston. Yeah. And like she could have gone through like that, that chain of events. I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but it's like you can get famous for something stupid and then parlay it into like the Costco people, the
Yeah.
Rizzlers on a podcast now, and people love it, dude. They want to tune into the Costco family
Yeah.
podcast, dude.
Or the Cash Me Outside girl who I got,
Her raps are actually kind of good, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I got scammed on her meme coin.
Oh, of course you got scared. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, like you kind of have to be in all or nothing when you get in early. Cause like I saw Trump coin when it was like $4.30.
I did too, and I said, "Well, this is done.
Yeah, this is done.
It's already,
yeah,
because like very few meme coins even make it to a penny, so that one
yeah.
was already well
And I
over a
was like,
dollar." And I was
these
like,
dumb Trump supporters wouldn't even know how to buy a meme coin, so it's not going to go much higher than that.
"Yeah," and then it went
His
all the way to
fan
like
base,
$70.
yeah. And now it's back down to 30. Well, here's another thing I want to say, if I haven't already said it, that people don't know what a rug is. They didn't rug the Trump coin.
No,
The main wallets are still locked in. It's just that people exited and you were their liquidity.
yeah,
But there's so many stupid ass podcasters that don't know anything about crypto that are just like, Donald Trump rugged everybody. You should have saw it coming. It's like, well, you're just using that for any time the coin goes down. That's not what a rug is. It's a very specific thing, a rug.
yeah. I mean, if that's what a rug was, then everything just got rugged because the whole market is down. There's nothing.
Like,
Nothing's doing well right now. Like all the crypto Twitter guys are always bragging about like, oh, I just made 1,000x, on this one thing. They're all just like panicking because they're just fucking hemorrhaging money right now.
I have a lot of money that I just put out into some new wholesale projects for my business. And if I could, I bought about 18 different things. If I did it over again, I probably would have just bought 6. I bought too much too quickly. I won't get into the numbers, but it's a lot of money. They could make decent returns, but in this economy, I probably should have gone a little bit slower. So And I ran into some other problems this month where somebody falsely accused me of having a counterfeit product, and I had to hire an attorney. So I had to give them a huge retainer to solve it. And I was starting to get really stressed. I was losing some sleep over this financial stuff. And then I just like laid in bed, and I pray every night, but I don't ever ask for anything. I just like say thankful, and I have gratitude, a roof over my head, and the heat and everything. And I was just laying in bed, and I was just like, you know what, God, I know you just got this figured out. The universe has this figured out. You have this figured out. My worrying is not going to fix anything one way or another. So I'm just going to like settle in and just enjoy it. And I got a good night's sleep finally. And then I woke up the next morning, and like the emails that I needed answered were all answered in my thing. The people that I needed to talk to got back to me. Like all the stuff that I was worrying about for like 3 days all happened the next morning. And whether or not that had anything to do with praying or talking to God or whatever, it's like if it was just going to happen, it was going to happen anyways. And worrying about it wouldn't have changed it. But I did feel a huge relief and a huge peace of mind when I just lay down, close my eyes, and I start seeing like naturally flowing, like it's like static in a TV, but it's naturally flowing like organic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel really connected to the universe. I don't know if it's God or what, but like I got to that place. And I just say, since this is Christian based, it's like, I don't know if it's magic, if it's what exactly it is, if we're in a simulation or whatever, but like laying down, giving gratitude, and like having a conversation with God, your own personal conversation, whatever that may be, it works. Like if you're a
Yeah.
scientist and you can say, well, you have to prove this and everything, try it. Do a little experiment every night before bed. Don't like wish like it's a genie or whatever. Start having some serious conversations that you need to have with God, and just follow. If your life gets better, keep doing it. And if it gets worse, then just ignore it. Like,
You know, yeah, and science is cool. I like science. I like reading about like chemicals and
chemicals
stars.
cool. Check out chemicals, guys.
Yeah, chemicals and stars and like different critters. You know, all that they're up to in science. So I think science is cool, but also like, you know, existence by and large is pretty much infinite mystery. It's just like there's more unknowns than knowns, and then there's like, you know, unknown unknowns. You know, it's just mystery upon mystery, right? It's beyond us, and that's where, you know, that's where you're right. It's like you sometimes you just gotta have a talk with God and say, hey man, you know, I don't know what's going on, but thank you.
Yeah.
You
I,
know, this
I, I
is
tell you,
crazy, but thank you.
yeah, I don't think we have any atheists here, but if we do, and you say you're a scientist, just run a little experiment for the next week. Just wake up every morning and give gratitude to God for everything that you have. And before you go to bed, just have a little conversation, say thank you, and then see if your life gets better by the end of the week. And if it does, you've conducted an experiment. Even if it's a placebo effect, it's still an effect and your life has changed. It always works for me. And I was a skeptic. That's how I got back to Christianity, was doing that.
Hmm.
Because I had just like I tried all the quote unquote logical things and working it out and all that stuff. And then I just got back to having those conversations, and things got better and better and better. So I was like, okay, well, I'm running this experiment, and now I'm going on like 5 years and my life just keeps improving. So it's like, okay, well, there's no need to stop this experiment because it's working.
Yeah, and this is a
So
good point. Shout out chemistry. Shout out physics.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to science,
Yeah.
scientific method. That's what I wanted to do. Like when I was in college, I was a biochemistry major at first, and it's really hard. That's a
Yeah.
hard study. You know, that's a hard major to do.
Yeah.
I got kind of far. I got surprisingly far. Like I still ended up like having to change majors, so I guess by every metric I'm a failure. as a scientist, but I made it through calculus 1, so I took all the math up through and including calculus 1. I made it through organic chemistry, which is a very difficult course. And then when I started getting into like those upper level, like like 4,000 level courses,
Yeah.
like senior year classes where it was like the actual biochemistry class, calculus 2, mechanical physics. That's where I was like, oh yeah, you have to be like Chinese or Indian.
I don't know. I was thinking about this. So like my buddy today that I've known since like 1985, he was the first person I met. I was at his brother's house, and him and his brother and me are better friends. But he was the first person I met when I moved, and he was like, he graduated high school, went to a business degree, then finance, and now he's been in finance ever since. He's 50. He got into finance and he's 20. He's still in finance. His brother graduated, went to architectural school, became an architect, owns an architectural firm. So like, and they're married with kids. They knew what career they were going to do, and they're still in it. And he said to me, he's like, dude, I was just talking about when I used to be like a real estate inspection. He's like, dude, your life, dude, you've had so many things. He's like, you were a personal trainer when I met you when you were younger. Before that, you owned real estate. Then you owned the real estate inspection company. Now you're doing the Amazon stuff. You're getting into DeFi or whatever. And I just could never find anything that I really was super passionate about. So I just kept jumping around and leaving when I wasn't. But I was laying in bed meditating the other day, and I was just thinking like, somebody was talking about how Newton was so smart because he figured out all this stuff before anybody else had. So Einstein, there was already kind of a framework for him to work on, and then some of his stuff was undone. And I was like, if I was really passionate about that and like just decided that I wasn't going to give up, could I figure that out? Or is that delusional?
Man, I don't know, dude.
You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like if you just hyper fixated on something and you just never gave up, which I would give up. I think that's how you figure out stuff now more than.
Yeah. Well, first off, I guess like, if you are Chinese or Indian, your parents will force you to be good at it.
Yeah.
But as far as like as an actual autonomous
I feel
person,
kind of Chinese today because they're not taking caffeine. Normally I'm like this, but I'm Chinese because of that.
Yeah.
And they played a joke. They gave me Sprite.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of Coke. They put Sprite in my Coke.
But I think like as an actual autonomous person, I think each individual person has like their proclivities.
Yeah.
Just like what they're I think it's like the question of like nature versus nurture and like what do you actually have control over. I think for the most part you have like the whatever it is that you're just naturally inclined to be good at.
Yeah.
And so you can have, and then like it, if you're interested in things, you can pursue them and learn about them or whatever. But if you don't, I do think
Yeah,
like
no, you're right, because I'm thinking about to the extreme, like a Down syndrome guy can't figure out Einstein's string theory, dude, just because he's hyped on it, dude.
That was like
when I was no matter how many nerds candies you give him, he's not figuring it out.
It's like when I was in high school, there was always like the kids who like just seemed to naturally understand math. Like it just came so easy to them, and I always struggled with it. But then I was always good at like English class, like reading and writing.
I was good at math, and I was terrible at English. I was good at writing, but I was bad at reading and grammar and spelling.
Yeah, that all came like pretty naturally to me. Just like grammar, the ability to like write things, and then like reading and interpreting literature.
Oh.
That was always like something that I feel like I've always been kind of good at and I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I always did very well in those kinds of classes.
Here was my problem. I was raised by a Greek immigrant, and then my father was from the Midwest, like you, right? So the lady's like, so I'm like, how do you spell washcloth? And she's like, well, sound it out. And I was like, my dad's saying washcloth and squash at home, squashed, worthcloth. So I'm like, washcloth, washcloth, WORCH. Like, where are you getting the R
Yeah.
from? And it's like, I don't know. You should hear how people pronounce stuff around me all day. How am I supposed to sound it out when, like you say it too? You say washcloth, wash your
Worse.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also like I know the correct pronunciation and spelling of words, but it's also like a I don't know what you call cultural or like growing up in the South,
So when
you
you
know,
say washcloth, you hear WASH.
like if you hear me saying washcloth, like
Yeah.
I gotta go wash myself,
Yeah.
that is put upon because like I
Oh,
do
okay.
like I understand that the proper pronunciation is washcloth.
When you
I gotta
hear
go
me say
wash.
ka, when you hear me say ka, I don't realize it. I think I'm saying car. Or when I
Okay,
say weird, I think I'm saying weird.
right. Well, I mean, I
I
have
recognize it if somebody brings it up, but like
like
in the moment, I don't realize I'm saying it in like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, like I have an
That is
accent.
the trick, by the way, little goblin. Is in Boston, we only say one hard R. The rest of them are soft A's.
Well, you know, I have an accent, and I have the dialect that I grew up around,
Yeah.
and so naturally, the way I speak. I mean, there's probably going to be words that I say with that, with that dialect or whatever. But I also understand the English language, so I know like what the proper spelling and pronunciation for words are supposed to be. And so, and then there's sometimes where I'll like lay it on thick just to emphasize
Well,
my
what about
southernness.
what about the Chelsea Grammars of the world, dude? Schedules. My
You
schedule
mean Kelsey grammar?
is what I call them, Chelsea. Yeah,
Okay,
whatever.
well, you know what's
Yeah, yes.
interesting? It's
Yeah,
funny.
yes.
It's funny
There's
you
only
mentioned
one
that.
that I agree with him with is uh culinary art school.
Yeah.
That
So it's
one
funny.
bothers
It's
me.
funny you mentioned that.
He's right there. I agree with him there. Go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like Fraser and Niles, like their accent is whole cloth and affectation. That's the I think they call it the transatlantic accent.
Yeah.
That was actually created by like upper wealthy schools and stuff
Yeah.
to teach people how to speak that way to establish them as like a part of the upper crust.
What's funny is the original British accent sounded like my Boston accent right now. My New England accent was the old English accent, but they hated us so much after the war. They started that whole posh accent on purpose to separate themselves. They did the same thing. So what you hear today, and now it's been mutilated again, but the posh British accent like this or whatever, that was fake and that was put on after the war because they didn't want to sound like the people of New England anymore. So the Boston accent is the closest to the original English accent.
That can't be right.
You look it up.
There's no way, dude.
Yes.
There's no way England sounded like Boston
Yes.
prior to 1776.
Yes. So
there's no,
we
there's no
yeah.
way. There's no way England just sounded like Boston for hundreds of years. Like they were conquering the earth and be like, "Yo, India's wicked gross, but the
Not like
spices are
that.
good."
Not the slang, but the dropping of the R's, the pock, the cause, and the thop at the bar. But it was like that was the British accent. And then once we won that war, they were like, fuck them. And they started doing the posh accent. And they put it on as affrontation or whatever it's called. You can look it up.
I'll have
Maybe
to
I
look
was
that up.
given a
It does not. There's no way, dude.
the
There's no way that England just sounded
all right,
like
gun to the butt.
Boston.
You want to do a gun to butt challenge, dude?
No, I don't. No, I just can't. I just can't imagine. That doesn't. It doesn't. I'll look it up. I'll look
It's
it up
not like
later.
well, you got to take the slang out of it. They weren't saying dude in wicked pissa and all that stuff, but the ka, like yard Harvard, but it was more probably like this. It was more like probably like the Kennedys.
Yeah, maybe, or like
Than my
Stewie, maybe like Stewie
dumbass.
Griffin, maybe. It's like,
No. One thing I will say, I grew up in South Attleboro, Massachusetts, so I used to love the Family Guy. I know you guys talk about it a lot, but like because I grew up in that area next to RISD where they all went to school, and in that South Attleboro Pawtucket line, so many references that they claim were in Quahog were actually in South Attleboro,
right?
and so many references are actually wrong on, and I think it was done on purpose.
Yeah. Well, Quahog's a fictional town.
Yes, but I'm saying like when Stewie says, "Oh, I went to Norm's Novelty in South Attleboro, Massachusetts." Norm's Novelty was actually in Pawtucket, right over the border of South Attleboro.
Okay.
And then he'll be like exit. They would say like exit 4, and there is no exit 4, which is there's actually a sign, and there was like a band named after it too on 95 because it would say no exit 4. South Attleboro is actually exit 1, I think, maybe exit 2. But anyways, so there was like a lot of like Easter eggs in there for people that lived in the area,
Okay.
which was interesting. But I don't know if maybe Stewie does, because he does have kind of a Niles and whatever Kramer,
Yeah.
not Kramer.
There's actually a great
Jerry.
when Family
Scrambled
Guy.
eggs, Jerry. What was his
Yeah,
name? Chelsea Grammer. Yeah, but
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
There's a funny behind the scenes thing when Family Guy like was first came. It was either when it first came out or when it got brought back after it had gotten canceled. There's like a one of the DVDs at the time. I remember watching this where he was Seth MacFarlane was just asking like regular people like what they thought of the show. Like he'd shown it to like test audiences or whatever,
Yep.
and there was like some like old lady he was talking to, and she was like, I thought this was abhorrent, like like awful show." She was like, "Who does the voice of that baby? Is that David Hyde Pierce?" And
Oh yeah.
Seth MacFarlane goes, "Yeah, it's David Hyde Pierce." And she goes, "Well, it's good that he's getting work. I like David Hyde Pierce."
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, back to him saying uh culinary art school instead of culinary art. If you say culinary art school, you look like a complete douchebag, so you have to say culinary. But the best way I ever heard him explain it, he's like, it's 100% culinary and not culinary. And I'll tell you why, because what is this called on your finger? It's not a cuticle, it's a cuticle. And you
Mm-hmm.
went to culinary art school. And ever since he said that, he's like, he's so right, but only a douchebag would say culinary arts.
Yeah.
You have to say culinary or you look like an idiot. So I'm just thinking about how many words must be like that in the English language, that it's got to be one of the toughest languages to learn, even though it's so basic and retarded and not elegant. Well, just think of like, it's like that Gallagher joke. Think of how many words are like spelled exactly the same way, but one letter different,
You know.
and they're pronounced completely different. Think about
Yeah.
that, guys. Yeah, think about it. Let's all
Yeah.
take a moment of silence to think about that.
Language is cool. That's why, like,
Yeah.
when people come in here in the chat or wherever and they start being mean to me, if they have misspelled something or have typed out their mean things grammatically incorrect, I immediately call them on that.
Yeah.
And they always, and the response is always the same, where they go, "Oh, you had to resort to correcting my spelling. That means you have nothing." It's like, that's all I need, actually. That's all I need to know, that you're fucking stupid. I don't respect you, and I don't have to respect anything you have to say to me.
I can
You
tell you,
you don't even care. You don't care enough about the language that you're using to properly insult me. So
Yeah.
I don't have to pay any mind to this. Like I don't have to respect anything you have to say. I don't have to think that you're somebody, you're a fucking idiot. Because language is what separates us from the lesser beasts. Our ability to communicate through language.
Yeah.
And if you disregard language itself in that way, the spelling, the grammar, the structure of the language, then you're nothing more than a fucking dog.
So Raphael saying that it's not even remotely hard. He might be correct as far as learning the language, but
He speaks fucking Portuguese, dude.
pronunciation of the language, no, that's why so many people get it wrong. Because you know what I mean? Like, just think of all the that the words that are spelt like almost exactly the same that are pronounced 3 different ways as soon as you change one letter.
Yeah.
And then you have all the euphemisms like that we use that like drive you up a wall, like explaining. Like you can explain it, but you'll never get the full meaning of it. There's something
Yeah.
lost in translation of all because of the melting pot of the language that we have and how quickly it changes and the slurs. And then we have the African American people that mixed in the words. And then you have cool, and then you have like bad. Like bad means bad, but it also means good.
Yeah. I can assure Raphael's saying it's really simple. I think a lot of people think it's simple because they're um introduced to it young or it's like dominant or whatever. So
Yeah.
like everybody has like access to English, right? But actually like see I can't even think of the words I'm trying to say, but like, actually having like a grasp on the English language and being able to wield it with like a mighty sword, like a verbal assassin, that
Yeah.
is like a skill set that you have to develop, and you have to like there is like a calculus to the English language. Like if you ever read Chomsky's first like big work that he got published before
Yeah.
Chomsky became like a politics guy, he was a linguist, and so he got the
He's my favorite linguist.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
like if you ever read like syntactic structures,
I've
it,
listened to him.
yeah, it's like,
That
dude, I've tried to read it, and he's like getting into like there's like equations, like formulas that
yeah.
he's drafting up for the English language, like the way it works and
Yeah.
how how it is like it is finite. Like there's only so
Yeah.
many letters and words and all that, but there's like infinite combinations that can be
Yeah.
used. So it's like within the structure of the English language, there's infinite possibility. And if you understand how the language works and getting like a mastery over it, you can, that's like a superpower almost. Most people don't think about anything they say ever, or how they don't think about language. They don't know how to write. They don't, like I work in phone sales, so I talk to like most of the country.
Yeah.
People are completely um I think like most of this country is borderline illiterate. Like,
Oh,
most people
yeah.
don't have any grasp on language at all.
Well, I was gonna say, so you've podcasted with the White Hotep before,
Yeah. What does this mean? Shout out Linguini.
because we were
Thank,
saying linguistics and linguini.
Linguini is good. Thank you for the money.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $5. Yeah, White Hotep. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, so I was laughing when you were talking because early corn fed when you had to do word alerts with Sal, and most of your words now, most of your words you can figure out like through context. Like if you don't know what they mean, and even if you don't know exactly what they mean, you know the raw definition of them without maybe the intricacies.
Yeah.
But like the White Hotep has I can tell that he reads a lot and he verbalizes the words that he reads a lot. You know what I mean? I would love to see Sal and the White Hotep on a podcast together, just because it would be such a juxtaposition of of language and how
Yeah,
it's
Sal wouldn't
used.
know what juxtaposition means.
I only know from like when it went into the zeitgeist of like the podcasting community, maybe like 3 years ago, and I had to look it up. But like, and then I heard it everywhere. So I think other people like brought it into the fabric of my universe through the podcast that I was listening to. But like when I'm listening to him, I sometimes, in the beauty of the words he's using, I lose track of what he's trying to explain to me just because of, you know, at first I was like, is he putting this on? But the more you talk to him, it's like, no, it's kind of just how he likes to talk or how he talks. And not that I don't consider myself really good with language, but it's him versus like the average American, you know, and then if we all spoke like closer to him, then Raphael's, you know, hypothesis is completely destroyed. We're all we're all a bunch of dummies, by the way. Dalton's probably the best at language in this chat. Maybe not. Maybe somebody and Dalton's pretty retarded when he talks lately. You know what I mean? He could probably, he writes very well when he does his earnest breakdowns. He can use some big words or whatever. But like, I don't know. I think the English language is. I wish I had the words to explain what I was trying to say.
I've gotten stupider. You know what I mean? I've gotten stupider lately. I need to like figure out like what's going on and how to like fix my brain.
It's because the 5 people that we hang out with are retards.
Yeah, maybe that, and maybe just like the job I do. Like I spend all day talking to like the dumbest people in the country.
Dude, I spent all day getting talked down to by Indian guys. It's like it's turning me, dude. I thought I hated the Jews, man. Indians.
Yeah, man.
No, like every Indian guy that I talk to, I'm trying to just be like, okay, just another guy. They're so condescending, and it's like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, bro. And I'm trying to get help from them because they work for Amazon and I'm a independent contractor that works with Amazon. And they're the people that I got to get through to get my data. So I can't be mean. And they're just trying to do their job. They're just customer service or whatever. But man, like I finally had to give up. I had to shell out money to get an attorney to deal with them because I can't deal with them anymore because I was
if you think dealing with Indian customer service sucks, try dealing with Indian customers.
I've tried to. Don't ever try and. All right, you guys want to hear a stereotype that's 100% true? Do not ever try to sell something to an Indian person.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just get them out of there. I used to try to sell vacuum cleaners, and I used to sell vacuum cleaners, Kirby Home Maintenance Systems, door to door. And I sold to everybody in the world, and I kept getting tricked by Indian people. And just, like, they will watch the whole thing, say they love it. Then they just like negotiating. Yeah. So they would negotiate you down to the absolute bottom price. And you're like, look, this is the bottom thing. You got to take it or go. There's no, and they're like, how about we do 850? I was like, I know 900 is the bottom. Like there is no lower. I was like, okay, we do 850 then. I was like, no, there isn't. And like, they just like to negotiate. And then they're like, okay, I don't want it then. It's like, yeah, you never wanted it. I should have left hours ago. I wasted my time here. So I'm still never sold to an Indian.
Anytime I get a call from an Indian, I have to, like every single one, I have to say to them at some point in the conversation, there's no such thing as free. There's nothing free here. So stop asking.
And just in case you guys are curious too, we're talking about Southeast Asians, not Native Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I get an Indian customer on the phone, they'll you know, they don't want to hear anything. They want the absolute cheapest thing possible. And then they'll just be like, is there anything for free? And I go, no. Why would you ask me that?
What? That would be such a funniest response. It's be like, is there anything for free? And you're just like, why would you? You're not even just saying, why would you ask me that?
Yeah, I'm like, what American business would do that? Like,
so funny. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did that hit me so funny?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. This is only funny if you've tried to ever sell something to Southeast Asian people.
Yeah, it really, like, a lot of there's some stereotypes that are absolutely true, and it is like with Indians and Hasidic Jews also.
Yeah.
Dude, they will break you. Like a Hasidic Jewish mother will will just chip away at your spirit until you'll just do whatever she wants. It's like, yeah, like, will you name the price? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just have to laugh, dude. The amount of hours that I've wasted trying to negotiate, and it's just like it's Bart Simpson with the cupcake. Because I had sales guys because I was in my 20s, and I had these older sales guys, and like, hey, if Pat ever set you a appointment with an Indian guy, just get in there, answer all his questions, shampoo the rug, and get the hell out of there. They don't buy. They're gonna waste your whole fucking day. You're gonna think they're gonna buy. They don't. Just get out of there. And I was like, in my 20s, I'm like, these old people are so racist. He's like, everybody's the same. They're just like you and me. And if I show them the value of this vacuum cleaner, and by the time number 9 goes around, the 9th time I'm trying to sell, and it's like the end of the night and it's late, and they said they wanted it, and they're just constantly, I'm back and forth on the phone trying to get a lower price, and they never buy. And then no matter how low I go, they want to go lower. And then finally, like, oh, if I was just racist, I would have saved myself hours of my life. It would have saved so much time. Prejudice really helps you like get through a lot of the weeds.
Dude, I got a call today from some kind of Asian lady. I don't know like what part, she had an accent. And I guess she was like older. And so she was calling because she was upset.
Welcome to the anti-Kumani.
Yeah, well, she was upset, and so I answered the phone. She immediately goes, why did my bill go up 50%? Why did my bill increase by 50% each month?" And I go, all right, well, let me take a look. Like, let me find your account. So I found her account, and so I was looking at it. Her bill went up from $9.95 a month to $14.95. It's she framed it as my bill has gone up 50%. It went up $5.
Yeah,
which I guess technically is 50% of what she was paying. So that's 50% of $10. But and so I told her, I was like, well, that's a company decision, so it's like the price of that now is $15 a month. She goes, that's a lot of money. And I said, it's $5. I didn't tell her, like, I don't know, it's $5. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
If you even knew how much I lose on meme coins, I gotten $150 rug before breakfast.
Yeah, dude, I lost $1,000 before I had coffee this morning. So, count your blessings, sweetheart.
I will say, I'm just thinking about this. I can't remember the kid's name because it was my buddy Craig's friend. Oh man, I can't remember his name. His last name was Patel. But he was a funny ass Indian kid back in the 1990s or whatever, because he used to make fun of his religion because there were so many gods. And so like he just used to do this bit where like we'd be like, doing work and study, and he would drop his pencil and he'd go, why have the pencil gods forsaken me? So like anything that happened, he would just say there was gods of that thing, and why have they forsaken me? But he's an Indian guy doing it, and man, it got me every time. It was a bit that just got funnier and funnier. Like if his shoe was untied, why are the shoelace gods forsaken me? If I dropped my pencil, the pencil gods. If they were out of pizza in the lunchroom, it was the pizza gods that had forsaken him. So it was a really good bit for an Indian guy in the 1990s.
It's funny because that's also like a sales thing. Like if you've ever worked on a sales floor, like whatever dumb shit you're selling, there's at least one guy on the sales floor who will refer to like the gods of that thing.
Oh, really?
In my experience, yeah, like working sales, that's like the verbiage they would use. Because I had a job years ago where I was selling water tanks, like big, like 10,000 gallon tanks
For your ex-wife to drink out of?
Yeah. Yeah, she was a giant hamster, actually.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
it was like this company that sold
More like a guinea pig. Hey,
whoa, hey,
wait,
whoa.
Sal's wife. We'll leave her out of this.
Yeah, but it was, it was like we sold to like farmers and agricultural companies and stuff. So it was like big industrial sized
Yeah.
like water tanks. And there was this guy there who was actually like, probably the best salesman on the team. But he would always be like, oh, the tank gods are smiling on me today.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what a hyper specific deity there is for plastic water tanks.
Yeah, it is funny though, because like the Native Americans, when they're like, oh, the sun god, the moon god, and like, the animal gods or whatever gods that they broke everything down to,
Yeah.
when they were like monolithic like that. And even the Greeks, when they had like although the Greeks seem like closer to Christianity, like
I think
Zeus.
a lot of like religions will have like specific gods or what, because like even like Catholicism, like you've seen The Exorcist,
A
right?
long time ago, yeah.
So
The Linda Blair one?
yes,
Yeah.
so like
I don't know if there's been a remake that you kids are watching these days.
I mean, they've made and remade and beat that dead horse a lot.
Yeah. There's one where Kevin Hart's a priest in The Exorcist. Yeah.
There's 3 good Exorcist movies. It's Exorcist 2, The Heretic, and then Exorcist 3. Those are good. And honestly,
is that Tokyo Drift?
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, Exorcist 3, Tokyo Drift. And honestly, my favorite is Exorcist 3 with George C. Scott and Brad Dourif. I think that's actually the best one. That's besides the point. Someone in the chat says Exorcist 2 is not good. Maybe it's not. I can say for sure 1 and 3 are good.
I don't know if it would hold up. I haven't seen it in a while, but at the time, I was scared. It made me uncomfortable. Yeah. It was creepy, scary, like The Shining.
So the first Exorcist, she's not possessed by like the devil, like Satan or anything. Yeah. The demon that possesses Reagan is a demon called Pazuzu, which is like the devil of the north wind or something.
Okay.
It's like this, because like if you look into the what's the word I'm looking for? The hierarchy of hell.
Yeah.
There's like 72 like dukes and devils and different fucking things. There's like a duke or some like a like a lord or something for like all these different things in hell, right? So like the demon in The Exorcist, Zuzu, is like the god of the north wind. The one in Hereditary, Paimon.
I didn't see that. A lot of people said that was good. Zach Amico is one of them, and I trust his.
Damn, dude, I just spoiled the shit out of that movie for you. Then
no, it's fine. I'll forget by the time I watch it.
Okay,
which would be like never. I don't even have a TV.
You should watch it. It's very good. Yeah, it caught me. I'll tell you this.
I'm in the middle of the Beast Games. Episode 8 was on Thursday, so I'll have to put it on my list.
Hereditary, when it came out, for anybody that was like saw the trailers and was excited for the movie, you thought it was like going into it, you thought it was going to be a movie about like whatever you thought it was based on the trailer, and then as you're watching the movie, you realize you go, "Oh, I have no clue I don't know what this movie is."
Wait, about. Is Hereditary about a little Russian orphan?
No, that's Orphan.
Okay.
No, Hereditary is Toni Collette is the protagonist, one of the protagonists, and it starts with her mom has died, and so she's grieving the death of her mother and dealing with all that, and she's got her husband, and she's got these 2 kids, her like older son and her daughter.
I just say real quick what I think? This is what Sal's brain's like. When I hear Hereditary, I just think, oh, is that about our little Russian orphan that buries her pet in a cemetery? Like those are the movies that I put that are in my mind when I hear Hereditary. The way that the woman looks seems in my mind's eye is very Russian and very Pet
No,
Cemetery-ish.
the daughter in the movie
Is
looks
she
like
hot?
me. No, she looks like me.
Okay.
The daughter in the movie is like fucked up or something. Like is I don't think it's like that she's retarded,
It's
but
something Hereditary.
she just look. I've been told that I look like the girl from Hereditary. So,
I'm just trying to figure out who that's an insult.
here, I'll show you, dude.
Dude, I don't know if I'm ready for this, guys. I know you look like the kid, the 20 Bandos kid.
Yeah, I do look like him a little bit, just like a chubby kid. Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Precious was pretty bad.
So this is her.
Oh, I remember this. I can I can kind of see if you were like, oh yeah, I got married. This is my daughter. I would be
Yeah.
like that tracks.
Yeah. So
Here's what's sad. Like, do they have some prosthetics on her or anything?
I think they
They
made her.
must, dude.
I
If
think they
not,
made her look like
they,
worse than she actually does. Yeah.
because they destroy those people's lives. I was watching an episode of House the other day, and the girl has this like fat suit on. This little kid who's playing a fat kid
That's
that
so
like
funny, dude.
eats too much and gets sick and takes like diet pills or whatever.
To put a kid in a fat suit.
Yeah,
So
well,
funny.
here's the thing. Like the whole episode, they couldn't get a real fat kid because the whole episode, they're like, well, it's her weight. She's got to go on diet pills. She eats too much sugar, and they're like calling her a fatty and everything, and the kids are. So they had to get a skinny, they had to get a hot kid. They're like, all right, we need a hot kid, and we need to make her fat.
Yeah.
Because if they really just picked on a real fat kid, they like ruin her like self-esteem for life. So like that girl has to wear some sort of prosthetics because they can't just be like, "Oh, you're fucked up. Yeah, you're gonna be in this movie."
I've seen her with
Yeah,
outside of the movie, just like that actress,
yeah,
in press junkets or whatever. She's not. She doesn't look that
yeah. Like
ugly on.
the pinhead girl from American Horror
Yeah,
Story.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But you should watch it. It's a good movie because I remember like seeing the trailers and thinking, well, this looks spooky. This is like a cool movie about like a spooky kid or whatever. And then when I actually watched the movie, you know, probably like 20 or 30 minutes into the movie, something happens where you go, okay, well, I actually have no clue what this is about. I don't know where this is going from here. I don't
okay.
know. I don't know
I
how
like
this.
that stuff. I love
Yeah.
suspense thrillers, and I love going in blind.
Oh, I mean, it's like a genuinely terrifying movie. It's like really
Should I
scary,
watch it
dude.
during the day?
Watch it at night, dude. Watch it at night by yourself, pitch black, in the dark.
By just
It's,
shooting my gun through the wall.
dude, it's a really effective horror movie.
Being Shane Gillis's character when he's
Like
a cop.
it caught me by surprise when I watched it because
Yeah.
it's like it's such a original movie, and the course of as the progression of the movie, as it like what it ends up being, I was like truly like watching it going, oh, this is not only is this scary, like really terrifying, it is like surprisingly refreshing. Like
I
I
have
had no clue where this was going. I didn't know that any of this was going to be what this movie was.
so it cured your Twitter brain. Like I've heard other people talk about this, but like movies suck so bad that it takes something really great to keep me from like getting on my phone. Like a lot of times I go put on a movie because I'm like, all right, I should do something for myself rather than work. So let's watch a movie, and I start watching it, and I'm like, this sucks. Let's see what's on Twitter. And
I'll
I
tell you
just like
this: like
turn it
if
off
you
or
put
stop
this
watching
movie
it.
in, the inciting, like what sets off the course of events in the movie,
Yeah.
there's like something that happens probably like 20 or 30 minutes in the movie that will have you going, well, okay, so like that's the end of the movie, right? Like there's
Gotcha.
nowhere to go from here.
Gotcha.
But then there's like another like hour and
I mean,
you
the
know.
bar set pretty high, dude. I just got through episode 8 of the Beast Games, so I will say, if anybody's watching the Beast Games, episode 8 was like a huge switch compared to the other 7
That's cool.
episodes. Are you watching it or
No, I just started the new season of Squid Game now. I just watched the first episode of the second season of
Yeah,
Squid Game.
it's a. I don't want to spoil it because like there's only 10 people left. In episode 8, I think. But like, if you've been watching along, I'm not even going to talk about it in case people are watching it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Dave, please don't spoil Beast Games.
No, like there's so very little to the show, so it's like there isn't enough. You know what I mean? Like the whole you can spoil it because the whole reason you're watching an episode is to figure out what I would tell you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it would take away all the suspense and ruin it. Whereas like you can watch Heredity knowing that something crazy is going to happen. And there's still a lot more to the movie. There's so little to the slop of Beast Games that
right.
If you tell what happens, then it's like you told. They're basically just taking one climax and spreading it over 60 minutes. And I was just about to tell everybody the climax. Yeah.
No, yeah, don't spoil Beast Games.
So I will say it is some premium slop, and I am hooked. I'm finally like dumb enough in my old age that I can tune into that just to tune out. And I think what it is because I've been working on such a big project lately that in my downtime, I just need something to shut my brain off. So like reading is too much right now until this stuff's over. Like I said, I got an attorney handling it now, which is interesting. So I had to pay a retainer to an attorney, right? And I've been putting these cases together and thought I was doing a pretty good job of showing my invoices and my tracking and everything until I hired a professional to do it. And I was like, oh, I'm a retarded man. How did I get this far in life? Like when you see like a professional like put together a packet for something, like when this is what they do for a living, it was very humbling. Basically, every time I think I'm good at something, I find somebody who's better than me at it, and I'm like, oh, I'm mentally retarded. I'm a mentally challenged person.
Well, you know, it's just life, dude. It's like, you know, we all need each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one guy is good at one thing. He's not, you know, he's not good at another thing. And then the other guy's good at the thing that guy is not good at. And they, you know, they fill in the gaps for each other.
I think I got to go back to the philosophy show. I kind of dropped it because the sound quality was bad and I just recorded them on my road trips and stuff. But I went on BitChute just to check them out if anything's been going on. And all my stuff has like 800, 700, 500 views. And I was like, what's going on? And I reached out to the CEO, or I don't know if it's the CEO, the guy that has that, the only guy that BitChute's following on Twitter that has BitChute CEO in his title. Yeah. It could be a 16-year-old Asian kid for all I know that hacked that account. And they're like, no, your videos are doing really good on our site. Why did you leave? And I was like, well, I gave up because the same videos have 6 views on YouTube. So I just thought no one wanted to see it. I was listening to the market. And he was like, no, people come for very specific topics to BitChute, and there's no algorithm. So if you go there and you type in Dalton Pruitt, they will find you. But if they go there and you type in comedy podcast, they might not find you.
Right.
Because there's no algo. It's all search features.
The way the internet used to be.
Yeah, it's clunky, but I like it better. I downloaded DeepSeek because I wanted to get some high tech Chinese AI. And I was going to be like,
China, the Chinese AI.
Dude, fix my life. Yes, I was like, Chinese people. I've already used the other one. I was like, I need to, I need my life fixed. I downloaded it. It doesn't seem any different than, maybe I'm not asking
I don't
complex
know
enough
what
questions.
happened, dude. It like threw everything in a tailspin.
Supposedly they lost $1 trillion of market value in the US. And like, but at first, if I
I think
couldn't
what
log
it is,
in,
I think what it is it's like at least as is like comparable to ChatGPT and OpenAI and all that, but they purport that it was made for like a fraction of what those things
yeah.
cost.
Well, I was trying to do something a little bit different with it. I was trying to download the AI model and then hook it up to a private network and then set it up so that I could use search functions online, but store my data locally so it wasn't given to the Chinese people,
Yeah.
which is you're supposedly supposed to be able to do. But I'm not. I know computers all right, but I couldn't figure it out. I was messing around with it. I think I
Dude,
need to buy a
if I
little
got something I want to
separate
do,
network.
all right, if I got something I want to do and I can't figure out how to do it from the page one of a Google search, I just ain't do it. I'm just like, you know what? It ain't even worth doing.
Well, the thing is, supposedly there's a lot of security breaches that some white hackers found on the DeepSeek one. So I wanted to see, since it's open source, if I could set it up to mine. So basically, all my data that I served into it would be served in temporary files on my computer, and then I could still search for data online and use it like a search engine, if that makes sense. So I'm investing in a little crypto talk here. We haven't done much crypto talk tonight.
No, because it's bleeding.
I've been
It's bleeding
investing
like
in
a stuck pig.
this company called Presearch, and if you guys are interested in a really good search engine that's decentralized and on the blockchain, look into Presearch. Check out search engines, guys.
Dude, I just shouldn't even look at meme coins for the next like couple weeks because it's all so like
Well, this is
everything is down, like everybody's losing money on them. That is, it's just like, hey, just whatever happens, happens.
yeah. This is a utility coin called Presearch. The coin's called Pre, and it's really cheap. And you can run a node, and a node's really cheap. It's like $30 to run a node. But when people search, they use a little bit of your node to search and use some of your CPU. And then you get some of the gas fees from that, and you earn Presearch token, and then you can tip creators with it and stuff. So, and it's all on the blockchain. But basically, the idea is it's going to be decentralized, algo free, and the community pays one another. So the utility is in the amount of people that use it. So if it becomes more and more popular, then the coin goes up in price because whatever. Right now, it's really cheap to earn and use and run a node. So I'm just doing it to learn to practice to run a node. I bought a Raspberry computer and I'm trying to run a node on it. But that's my crypto
That
pick of the
sounds
week.
delicious.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever had Raspberry Pi? That's what it actually is.
I know that's what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that, I'm like, that sounds pretty good.
Same thing, dude. It sounds delicious. I took a little bit of rolled oats, some peanut butter, some almond butter, some vegan chocolate chips, some brown sugar, and some coconut oil, and I made these and pea protein. I made these like protein balls, but it's basically just sugar and chocolate and peanut butter. But I put them in the freezer, made them like
dude,
whatever, and
I
then
know
I
what you're
nabbed
talking
those
about.
down. Yeah, healthy.
Yeah,
Basically a health nut.
I used to work at a coffee shop that had a bunch of those, like what you're talking about, like these like really dense protein bowls.
Yeah,
that were just like really sweet also.
yeah.
And at the end of the night, they would have to throw everything away. So I would just like go home with like garbage bags full of those things. And I'd just be like eating like a dozen of them at a time, be like, yo, I'm being healthy, dude.
This is protein. They're healthy.
Yeah. Dude, I'm eating my protein balls. I got my Arizona iced tea. I'm like a paragon of health.
Oh, what the hell was that show or a skit where the kid got all fat because he thought the coach told him told him to put on weight or whatever, but he meant like muscle, and he just got like super fat. He just got super fat in the
Dude,
in
one
the
time
off-
I worked at a Greek bakery for a little while, and
Oh, I remember you saying
at
this.
the end of
Yeah.
every night I would take home probably like 20 uh what are triangles of fucking spanakopita and the ones without the spinach also.
Yeah.
I just would have boxes and boxes of them I take home. Dude, I just be
Spanakopita is really good. I make that. I have phyllo dough in my freezer right now that I wanted to make some spanakopita with.
yeah,
It's really
spanakopita is
good.
good. I prefer the one without spinach, just like the cheese pie.
I don't do the cheeses. There is a cashew feta. It's not as good as like a goat milk feta.
Oh, that's right.
That's
You're
one
all
thing that I
vegan.
miss. It's one thing I do miss is a good like goat cheese or sheep
Yeah,
feta.
whenever I would
Oh,
go to like
sheep feta is really good.
yeah, whenever I'd go to Greek bakeries, I mean, I like spanakopita fine, but the flavor of the spinach is just like too overpowering
Yeah.
for me. I like spinach fine, you know, I enjoy spinach, but like in that pastry or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, it's
I always
called it phyllo though, which is interesting because phyllo also means love, and the
mm,
dough is phyllo, but it also means dough.
yeah.
So
I
just
always
like
preferred
if you're a
getting the
cinephile, the phyllo,
oh
pedophilia,
oh,
cinephilia. There's 9 words for love, but one of them's philia, philo. Yeah,
but yeah, I always like getting the just the cheese ones. Those are good.
yeah.
I get that. There's a Greek bakery near where I lived.
So when you worked there, was it male owned?
Yeah.
Dude, you would fit right in. Did you get like classic Greek dudes that were super hypersexual and friggin' super creepy to live in?
No, because it was like a it was not like a mom and pop place.
Oh, all
It
right.
was a chain. It was called Greek from Greece. So it was
Okay.
GFG. And
Oh, no, I worked for like real Greeks in like a pizza restaurant. And I was like, oh, I'm not a creepy pervert. I'm just Greek.
no.
That's what I
No,
like.
it actually fucking sucked. It was just like the like main two guys there, like the manager and then the assistant manager were just like hard asses.
Yeah.
They were very strict and just mean. And I was out of there pretty quick. I was like, yo, fuck these dudes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll take my pies home and I'm not coming back here.
No, I were like, you know how like Italian people are kind of like angry?
Yeah.
Greeks are like that, but with horniness. So like, I've talked to so many women when I'm like, oh, I'm Greek, and like, oh, I used to work in a Greek restaurant, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I wish I could tell you I wasn't going to be like that, but I am. So as long as it's focused on you and you're cool with that, like you're about to be hypersexualized at home in a
Right.
loving relationship. Yeah.
um yeah, no, this place was a little too corporate for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta I recommend one time in your life, if you young guys out there or ladies, if you like to get your ass slapped at work every now and again, to work in like an authentic Greek pizza restaurant with a couple of like sleazy, horny Greek dudes that are just working 80 hours to 100 hours a week. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
High tea with no outlet, just making pizzas all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat,
Yeah.
hairy, greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That pretty much nails it up. So what else, guys? I feel like
I think that's
because
probably
I'm not on the caffeines anymore, I feel down. I feel like I'm letting the show down. I've decided
dude,
that I want
we've gone on
no,
like 3 hours. I
no,
think
no. I
we
know we did 3 hours. I feel like the show is flat today from my end, and
no, Dave,
I
you
was
gotta think of it like the Matrix, dude. There is no show.
I was talking to God about this today when I was brushing my teeth, and or maybe I was listening to a motivational speech, and I can't remember, but basically I was just like, I want to excite my life, but I'm not taking my life serious. Like I could do more
You could
work
join
for
the
the show.
Navy.
I could no, my father is actually in the Navy.
That was their slogan when I was a kid. Those commercials would come on
He's
and be like, "Navy, accelerate your life."
but he was he was a Marine though. He's a Navy corpsman.
Okay,
Um, but I don't know. I think if I was like, oh, I could take the podcast more serious. I could look up some stuff. I could get
no,
clips.
no, that's actually how you start to like deter from the quality of the show. This,
Yeah,
I'm actually my goal is to transcend even podcasting, like the forum itself. So,
yeah,
like, there is no podcast. There's only content.
yeah.
There's just us,
I
just
actually did try to
me.
produce a show once, 2 shows actually, for the Christmas show where I dressed up as Santa. I took some time, I got some articles from the Bible, some stuff, and then I said, you and Sal haven't had time to do behind the Patreon, so I created 2 shows with here's some stuff that we could read or whatever. I put it in a Google Doc and I said to the Dolphin, he just ignored it, and we just went on with
Dude,
our
I have
lives.
not. If I've learned anything from my years of doing talking to people on the internet, trying to prepare for it actually can be to the detriment of the show.
No, that's
I guess
fine.
I guess it depends on who you're with. Like,
It's actually funnier that I put all that work into it and you just ignored it and we never did anything to it. I would much rather have that
I
to
think I
show
think
you
with
and
somebody
stuff.
like you that might be something that could work. But with anyone else, like if I couldn't ask Sal to, he's not gonna. I don't even know if he would know how to open the document.
Yeah.
And then and then with like crack might play along with something like that, but I mean, right,
Well,
these all these other things I'm involved in, like the people involved are so like frenetic that's like, yeah, I'm not gonna try and like put in like pre-production.
no, I get that. Well, the here's what it was is we were doing this we were doing this Christian podcast, Bible study, and then it got away from us. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out of my way to like look up some Bible stuff that we can read on the show that's relatable to the stuff that's going on right now. And I'll just do that every week. I'll find like 1 or 2 things that's like relatable to the news, and we can like have a jump off point. Because the fans were kind of like, I thought this is a Bible thing, and you guys are talking about crypto and money and everything. So I was like, that'll be a pretty good idea, but it would be kind of hard to stop. Like when like we're going or whatever, I don't want to be like, okay, we're 15 minutes in, let's read a thing and
Yeah,
now.
I
You know
don't
what I want?
know.
I do have something I want to end the show on, by the way, though.
Okay,
All right, you guys ready for this? I don't want to spoil too much of it. If you guys are on Twitter, you might know this. I think this could be Dalton's machine. Bert Kreischer is the machine. This could be
oh,
Dalton's machine.
that thing I posted.
Yeah, can you walk us through that story? Like, take your time. Don't do 1 or 2 lines like you did on Twitter. This story, dude, it had me rolling. I just can't
Oh,
like
well,
imagine this.
what I posted is a fabrication.
Okay.
The real story is that, for the longest time as a kid and up,
So,
as a
like, how
teenager,
old were you when this happened?
I was a teenager. I was probably like maybe 14 or 15.
Okay. All right.
But I
Well, the machine wasn't real, right? This
right.
still can be your machine. It's just a story.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
what I posted was like embellished to be
All
more
right.
tantalizing. But
Okay.
I was like one of those people up through my teen years up until this point where I was always really just averse to public bathrooms,
Like
like
the
taking a
guy
dump.
from Yeah, like the guy from American Pie that used to have to run home to take a shit.
Yeah, like taking a dump in a public bathroom was mortifying to me,
Yeah.
and I
I
just
think a lot of us can understand that.
yeah, and so I just I could go pee pee in a public bathroom,
So,
but I was always like just terrified, like I just did not want to ever have to take a dump in a public bathroom.
or I still have that sometimes. Like after you take a dump, and it's very rarely, I plan my day around my shits, and I like to shower after every bowel movement. So if I'm out and one happens, it's an emergency. Even though there's nothing there, there's a part of me that feels like everybody knows I just took a shit. Everybody's going along the line. They don't know. I feel like I took a shit. Everybody knows I took a shit, and somehow there's shit all over my back. Like for there's like a 5-minute like thought of shame after I do this when I'm out
Right.
in the world after it.
Right.
So I can relate to you feeling like this when you're
Yeah.
in
So
a
like
teenager.
I would never shit at school. Like at school, that was a no go. I'm never taking
That's
a dump
risky
at
too.
school. Yeah,
If you
that's
get bullies, there's all sorts of things that could
yeah.
happen to you. Yeah.
And then like in public places, uh, I just would hold it. If I was ever in public until I could get back home.
Yeah.
Um, so I just like a lot of my
Your
youth was
diet must
spent.
have been a little bit better back then, because I'm pretty sure what you explained to us you ate this morning. There was, if it's coming, it's coming. There's no holding back.
Right.
A,
So
a
yeah, but
pickle octopus in
yeah,
whatever.
a lot of my youth was
There's
just
no
spent.
holding back.
A lot of my youth was just spent in like discomfort from having to like hold in shits until I could get home to
Yeah.
take a comfortable shit in the my home bathroom.
Dude, there's
And so
nothing better. There's nothing better than a home shit.
it's awesome, dude. I love shitting at
Anywhere
home.
else, you just can't relax like you need to relax.
But there was one time when I was a teenager. I was probably like 14, 15, 16 maybe. I was like uh of an age where I like yeah, I mean I was still in school, like I was still a teenager. And there was one day I was in the car with my mom and she stopped at she needed to go grocery shopping and she went to Sam's Club, which is
He's not Costco.
we were not a Costco. We
Not
didn't have that
Costco.
kind of money.
Yeah,
We were
well,
expensive.
this makes a lot of sense, because didn't the Indian guys do Sam's Club? So
Yeah.
you're taking you got to take a big shit at the Sam's Club,
Yeah.
dude, with
So
the Indian
she
guys.
goes to
Yeah,
Sam's Club, and my mom. I mean, Sam's Club is already like
it's a project.
that's a whole. A Sam's Club is not like a grocery store or any
It's
department
not
store.
an in and out
Yeah, Sam's Club
thing.
is already a to do, like a whole to do.
Yeah.
But my mom was always like the kind of person. The most frustrating person to go to stores with because she would take her sweet ass time
Oh, she's
at
a
any.
lady.
Yeah, just at any store,
Yeah.
just like staring at two labels for the same
Dude,
product, like
that's just
comparing
women
them.
in general, dude. I had
Yeah,
a female friend, and she's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I need to pick up a couple things for Thanksgiving for my family." So I'm like, "Yeah, of course, I'll bring you the thing." Dude, we're in there for like 2.5 hours. I've never been in a grocery store so long in my life.
yeah, yeah. Like going to the store with my mom is like just going to Walmart. That's an hours long affair. That's at least 3 hours. And to her, it's just like la di da. It's no big deal. By the hour mark, I'm going, hey, when the fuck are we leaving?
That's all they
Like,
got,
why
dude.
are we still here?
That's their day out, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And she was
Yeah.
like, stop rushing me. And I go, we've been in Walmart for an hour and a half.
It's girl brain, dude. It's
Yeah.
girl brain. I've never like I had dated a lot of black women, so I thought it was a black people thing in the beginning when I would spend like hours with them shopping. But I come to find out it's girl brain. It happens
Yeah.
for white ladies and Spanish
Yeah.
ladies too.
It's just a girl thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like going to Sam's Club with my mom that's the whole day. That's like,
Yeah.
Walmart is 3 hours. Sam's Club, we might have to like get a hotel room to sleep in for the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is gonna kill just like so many hours just
Yeah.
waiting for her
I'm
to.
getting frustrated just thinking about like when they're walking so slow and you have to like literally drag your heels to be behind them because they're settled in. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, we're gonna run in and get groceries. They've mentally settled into being in there.
yeah,
The
and
only
they're just
the only thing I can think of comparably as if you've ever been to IKEA, when you walk in the door, you're like, okay, I'm probably going to be in here about 2 hours because you have to walk through this maze. So you have to mentally like settle in.
yeah,
But when you're there with the woman, it turns into 8 hours. They're like looking at two plates they're not going to buy. In like, yeah,
yeah, and yeah. So we were in the Sam's Club, and I don't know, maybe at like the 3 hour mark, I don't know when. I felt
If you guys don't know where the story going, just pay close attention. He's on his way home. He wants to go home. You have to do a pit stop at Sam's
we gotta
Club.
go to
It's
Sam's.
3 hours deep now.
Yeah, I don't know when, but like I felt myself, I felt a shit coming on. Like I just start, I can feel myself. Like I gotta take a dump, and it's like I'm terrified of public bathrooms. So I go, well, I'm not gonna shit in the Sam's Club, so just hold it till we get home.
I'm just gonna
But
wait
this is
around
a
3 hours.
yeah, but this is a Sam's Club trip with my mom, so I'm holding in this shit, and I'm like tugging at my mom's
You got
blouse.
a picture now. She's got a giant cart with like
Yeah,
industrial toilet paper and gallons of mayonnaise that she's buying in this
yeah,
cart.
and so I'm like tugging at her blouse, like, hey, can we leave? I have to go to the bathroom. And she's like, "Stop rushing me, just go to the bathroom here if you gotta go." And I go, I don't like public I'm scared."
Dude,
She's like, "Well, I'm not gonna
that's
like."
child abuse, dude. You
Yeah, and
can't.
she's like, "Well, I'm not gonna rush my shopping trip just because you won't take a dump in a public bathroom. So like, figure it out." However, and so the minutes are ticking away. And I'm
This
just
is podcasting, Raphael. We're vamping this thing right out. We're stretching it out. We're building the suspense.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm going through like the waves of like when you hold in a dump where it's like starting to breach.
Wait
And
until he runs into the Russian guys in the pretzel aisle.
yeah, well,
in this
it's
story.
those things, the moments where it's like breaching, so you clench your cheeks,
Yeah.
try to suck it back up, and then it goes
Turtling.
yeah, and then it goes back into your guts.
Yeah.
And then you do that back and forth enough times, eventually you start to feel like the ramifications that's having on your innards. Where like I've been holding in this shit so long and battling it.
I'm
at
fucking
war
myself. I'm fucking myself with my own piece of my poop.
Yeah, I'm at war with these turds.
Yeah.
To where after however
Ma,
long,
you're gonna turn me gay, Ma.
yeah, after like 40 minutes to an hour, I don't know how long. Eventually, I'm in such excruciating pain from holding in this shit so long that I'm like getting lightheaded.
Were you fat as a young kid?
Yeah,
yeah. This is such a fat kid story.
Yeah, and I'm like getting lightheaded and like my whole body hurts and I'm getting chills and I'm shaking. And I'm just like, Mom, can we please go home so I could go to the bathroom? She's like, stop rushing me. Stop rushing my shopping trip. And like the truth of the true story is that eventually it was like a do or die situation where I was in such like extreme pain from holding in this shit for an hour. Like I'm just stuck in Sam's.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding in a shit, just like turtle walking, like duck walking around the store, clenching my cheeks, trying to just not shit my pants, but also not have to go to the like the public toilet. And eventually it got to the point where it was painful enough. And I was like, I'd gotten like chills and shaking and I was lightheaded enough that I said, well, I guess I have to relent. And I went ahead and just went into the public bath, like toilet there, the restroom.
Yeah.
And, and of course, all my fears were validated because I go into the toilet and there's just fucking piss everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those, there's piss all over the toilet seat and all over the floor.
You got to go into the handicap thing and you have to like do a good 2 minutes of like work to clean up everything.
Yeah. So it's like before I can even take a shit, I gotta do like custodial work.
Yeah, and then you gotta balance toilet paper to sit on, and there's a whole ritual. Yeah,
yeah. So I gotta like clean the piss off of this toilet, and then I sit, and then finally sit down and take a big dump there in the Sam's Club, and then it's another 2 hours of shopping after that.
But smash cut. We're gonna actually edit this, and this is gonna be Dalton's.
Yeah, the funnier version of the story is what I posted on Twitter, which is that I held in the shit so long that I passed out and cracked my head on that concrete floor they got at Sam's and shit my pants anyway. Which is a funny version of the story, but unfortunately, that's not what actually happened. What actually happened is I just went in and took a shit anyway. But I will say that what is true in both versions is that that experience cured me of my fear of public restrooms because it was so
Yeah.
painful that I was like, it's you know what, it's better to just sit on a pissy toilet and take a shit than have to like be in that much pain because I'm
Yeah.
scared to go to the bathroom.
I had when I used to do real estate inspections, I would leave the morning at like sometimes sunrise and get to the first house like at sunrise and then work until sunset so that I could like get like 50 inspections done and then data entry them. And each inspection would pay between like the outdoor ones could be like 10 to 20 bucks and the indoor ones could be like 30, 40, 50, $100. So like you can pack a bunch of them in a day and then data entry them. And I was coming home one day and I had to take a shit and I was about probably like an hour away from home and I'm driving and it's just starting to hurt. And I think I can make it, but like I'm not gonna go to a gas station. I guess I could go to like a grocery store or something, but I don't feel that bad. But also I was kind of past the point where I was afraid that if I got out of my car to go into the store, the closer that I got to the public restroom, the more I would have to go, and then I would shit myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just got to get home. So it got so bad at one point that I had to like, I wasn't in my seat. I was like standing up with a straight leg, like clenching my stomach with my foot, like standing up with my holding the steering wheel and like let the leg out. And finally, I was like 15 minutes from home and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just have to shit my pants. I'm just going to shit my pants. And I went to shit my pants. I finally just like gave in and I just let out a huge fart. I didn't shit my pants
Nice.
and it was safe. And I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I didn't just shit myself.
Dude.
And like, that was like in my adulthood, I have not shit myself yet, knock on wood. Although I've had 2 Joey Diaz incidents when I was sick in the shower where I have shit myself in the shower, but I've
Oh.
never shit my pants. But that was the closest I have. And basically I had to just say to myself,
Oh, dude,
you just
I have
mismanage your life right now. You lived in New York City, so you probably shit
I've
yourself.
sharded as an adult for sure. Like, thought I had to fart and
Yeah.
went to do a fart and just like splattered shit all over the inside of my britches.
I haven't done that, but I've been sick at home where I had that. So I just knew that I couldn't trust anything. So I would just run to the toilet and sit down. But those are the times when I was in the shower and thought I was farting and shart in the shower,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I've never just like straight up shit my pants where
To get
I
him
went from
just a whole load in your
where
pants.
yeah, where I went from zero to shit. It was
Yeah.
always like I thought I had to fart
Yeah.
and then I just shit I ended up shitting everywhere.
I
There was one time when I was really young. I was over at my babysitter's house at the time, and I was in her son's bedroom playing a video game, and I had to take a shit, but I did not want to tear myself away from this game, so I was like holding it in,
yeah.
and I just held it in past the breaking point
Yeah.
where I involuntarily like shit a solid log into my pants. Like it wasn't like soft, shit. It was like a full log
Yeah.
that I dumped into my pants.
When
And the babysitter was so upset that she told my mom she couldn't babysit me anymore. She said, "I'm not gonna
How
watch
old are
you."
you?
Oh man, I was like maybe in kindergarten.
Oh, yeah. That's a pass.
But
I
I remember I remember what happened at the time, and she was like, "I'm still potty training my youngest," and this sets a bad example.
Oh,
For
she was mad because of that? That's
she
dumb.
was mad because I guess she thought her daughter would have seen that I shit my pants and thought that that was like okay,
Yeah, you ain't
and it
cool.
would
You ain't cool unless you shit your
yeah, then it
pants.
would ruin the progress she had made with her potty training, and so I set a bad example being the kid who shit his britches in the
Yeah.
house.
I I don't I dude, I was just telling my buddy I was telling him some stories about us growing up that I had told you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dude, all these memories that you don't know pop back up in your head when you're having a 4-hour discussion. And I forgot all about this. It was like a summer party, and I was old enough to drive, but I wasn't. I think if I had to guess, I was in my 20s, and it was my friend that was my buddy's older brother. It was just a couple years older than me. So he's like, I was in my 20s, and whatever I was, he was a couple years older. And I parked at his parents' house, and we walked over to this summer party, and started drinking. And the party was outside, and then it started raining. So we didn't drive, so we had to walk home in the rain, and we were kind of drunk. So we get back to his house, and I'm like, I gotta go, dude. I'm soaked. I'm just gonna drive fucking home and freaking dry my clothes, whatever. And he's like, you don't want to stick around and fucking sober up a little bit? And I was like, nah, it's just a little ways up the road. So as I'm talking to him, he's just taking his freaking shirt off and put it in the dryer, freaking his sweatshirt off, put it in the dryer, putting his shirt in the dryer. He left his shoes and socks in the dryer. So he's just in his boxer shorts, and he's like putting them in the dryer because we're freaking soaked. And I'm just about to leave, and he thought it would be funny to fart, like as I'm leaving, all like wet, and he just sharts himself, and it just runs all the way down his leg onto the linoleum right in front of me. And I was like, dude, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm out of here. I just shut his door. I left him there, dude. And he's just he had like white boxers on that had like, like little blue diamonds, but they're like mostly white. And he just sharted, and he was all soaked, so it was just like all over the place. And I don't know why I just thought about that. I've never mentioned that to him ever again. We just pretended like it never happened. We were healthy too. Like he just did it so blatantly, like he was supposed to just like do a wet fart in my face as I was leaving, and he shat himself. Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm due though. I'm 50, so I'm worried that I'm gonna start losing my faculties. Like I'm about like I know like 50-year-old dudes that like my buddy's parents and stuff. They were like older than me. You'd be like at a cookout, and they would be wearing like sweatpants material, like shorts or whatever, and like they just got pissed, like wet piss on it all day after like drinking. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I do that. Like sometimes I go to the bathroom to pee. Like I go piss in the toilet, but like somehow I fuck that up and just get piss all over the front of my pants. And so I just have piss on me all day.
So I'm wondering if I'm missing out on part of happiness of life, because I see these guys living their life and no one cares, right? They're just relaxed with a big piss stain on their shorts in the front. They're married, they have kids, everybody's relaxed. No one cares. I don't care. I notice it, but I don't care. But I would be super embarrassed of that to happen to me. So I live a large part of my life in a way that would never allow that to happen to me. But then that means I live a large portion of my life where I never relax enough to just let that happen to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just let it happen, man. Just let life happen. Sometimes you piss on your shorts. That's life.
Yeah, dude, you gotta let go, dude.
Yeah.
So,
maybe that'll be my bucket list before I hit 60, is to shit my pants one time.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not a good experience.
I had trouble, like when I hike, and a couple times when I was like in rivers and stuff doing extreme hiking or whatever, you do have to piss yourself because there's no place that you can go piss. And so like you end up like, especially like if you're treading in like in a lake for a couple hours and it's like up to your neck, your waist, and you have to piss, you just have to piss in the water, which would seem pretty easy. But if you're surrounded by other hikers, sometimes you can't turn that part of your brain on to just let loose. And I don't know if it's just me or everybody. No one knows you're doing it, but I have like
dude, I'm
like a shame thing that I think people know that I'm doing it.
I'm the opposite. I have pissed in every single swimming pool I've ever been in.
I don't piss in the swimming pool. No
dude,
one
I pee as soon as I get in the pool.
Did you grow up with a swimming pool?
No.
So I
No,
grew
but
up with an in-ground pool, and so like I was like, oh, I'm swimming in that every day, so I don't want to be swimming in my piss. So I would piss before I got in it every time. But then at
no,
one, I
it
remember
didn't.
one
It
4th of
didn't.
July, my older cousins that could drink were in the pool like all day drinking. And I just remember it clicked one day. I was like, oh, those motherfuckers haven't got out of the pool one time and they've been drinking nothing but beers for 8 hours. It's like
Yeah,
my whole pool is filled with them pissing in it right now.
dude. It never even. Anytime I went somewhere where there was a pool, whether it was like a
Yeah.
public pool or in a amusement park or whatever, if I pissed before I got in,
Yeah.
just something about as soon as I got in the water, I was like, well, I gotta piss again. And so I was just was letting it rip in the pool. I was like, whatever, it's chlorine.
Yeah. When I was like 18, I was like the middle age of this big office trip. It wasn't an office trip. The owner's son was older than me, and he had kids that were younger than me. And his girlfriend was who I worked with. She was his age, and she had kids younger than me. But they invited me on this like trip. So I was like their friends, but their kids' friends. It was a weird thing. Anyways, we tubed down the Saco River in Maine. And you'd have a car on each end, and then you would get tubes. And the adults were in a canoe, and we were all in tubes all day going down the river. And we got to the sandbar, and there was these chicks in these they were probably like in their 20s in these American flag bikinis. And we stopped at that beach, and I couldn't get my eyes off of them, and I had to piss. And I remember thinking, like, I got to go in the water and piss, but I'm embarrassed because of those women. And so I must have been bothering me so much that one of the kids that was like 8, he's like, just piss. And he literally took his dick out in front of everybody and just pissed in the water while standing in the water
Nice.
at 8. So I was like, I'll never be that free as that kid.
That kid ruled.
Surrounded. Yeah, like, he didn't even just like sit down in the water and piss. He pulled his 8-year-old penis out and just pissed around in the water in front of everybody. It was like, it was kind of like 20 bandos, baby. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still like to that day, like I still think I walked into the woods and took a piss. I don't know. I don't know where it must be something I have to explore with a
Dude,
therapist. My
I
childhood.
I'm scared of people seeing my soft penis.
Not well, I don't know if it was maybe it was that, dude, because you're in the cold water all day. Not only would it be a soft penis, it would be in the water all day. Soft penis,
Oh
dude.
yeah, it's just no
I
penis.
just you know how you can just kill yourself, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it would just be balls. It was just like I pull my pants down and be like, yeah, he only has balls.
oh, dude. That's so
All
funny.
balls and no shaft.
Well, when you think about that Costanza thing, it's funny. You know, I was in the pool, shrinkage or whatever, until you really think about it. Like most of the pools that I go into are warmer water now. But when you would go into frigid, like ice cold, you ever been into like the ocean? You guys have like a
Yeah.
cold ocean? Dude, when you've been in there a couple hours and you get out, dude, the mechanisms have taken over, dude.
Yeah. Shrinkage is very real.
Yeah, it's scary. I've had it so bad. Oh, I did the fucking so we have a like a New Year's plunge here. I didn't do it this year. I haven't done it in years. When I was down in Newport, I had done the polar plunge, or sometimes they call it the penguin plunge. You get either donated or you just do it for no start. You go, everybody's on the beach and they're in bathing suits, and you have either a robe or a towel on, and then you run on New Year's Day into the water. And then you run out and you have hot chocolate or whatever.
Yeah, I've
You know
seen
what I'm talking?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I used to do that in my like 30s or whatever back in the day. And dude, your penis is never smaller than that. Like when you get out of there, dude, my buddies are like, oh, let's go meet chicks, dude. When I first went, because we were going to, I used to go to Sava Regina one year. I didn't like it. I quit in Newport, Rhode Island. But anyways, my balls, you know, they say, oh, my balls are in my stomach.
Yeah.
I had heard that, but I didn't really think it meant anything. I went into that frozen water or whatever, and my testicles they didn't go into your stomach, they go into your like pubis.
Yeah.
and then your penis is shrunk. And I was like, oh, if anybody sees me right now, I'm going to kill myself. I'm not hitting on a woman right now. And you're getting out of the water and your bathing suit's clinging to you because it's soaked. You're like, why would anybody try to convince me into doing this ever in my life?
If somebody sees it, you tell them, you go, this is thousands of years of evolution that has adapted my penis and testicles to retract into my body in frigid temperatures to protect them, actually. So
so I can be virile and fertile.
Yeah, so this is actually science.
Yeah. You're laughing at science. You're laughing at 2-inch science right now. Yeah. You in this house, we respect science. We believe the science in this house. That's what I tell them.
Yeah. Nothing more scientific than a tiny penis.
Yeah, actually, you're a science denier. If you that's what's going on right now.
Oh, you also anti-vax? You're telling me you're laughing at my small penis. I bet you don't even have the vaccine.
Yeah, I see what's going on here.
You're the last motherfucker with polio. The way you're laughing at my small penis.
It's such a cruel. Speaking of God in the Bible, it's really a cruel design because, like, women in cold water look fantastic. That's probably one of the best they look. Everything
hard
tightens
nipples.
up. The nipples get hard. Everything tightens up. That's cruel.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Actually, that might be one of the devil demons that you were talking about that you get possessed by.
Yeah.
Why have the ice water gods forsaken me? You know?
Yeah, but it's also there's a lot about the human body that does feel like malicious design, like the fact that the butthole and the vagina are so close to each other.
Yeah.
And like a woman like has to wipe a certain way to avoid getting sick.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're a guy and you wipe back to front, you run the risk of getting shitty balls, but that's about it. And then, by the way, there's an easy way to not get shitty balls if you're going to wipe back to front. Because I've been wiping back to front my whole life, and it's really just you just lift your balls up.
Honestly, I've only heard one other person say this one time, and they got so shamed for it that they never mentioned it ever again, even when the conversation came up. And it was Dave Smith. But he said on Legion of Skanks, they were all talking about bidets and how they wipe or whatever. And Dave Smith's just like, no, I get in the shower after every shit that I take. And they were like, what? Who does that? What, are you crazy?
I've heard of people doing that.
I do that. I like, you don't get in there with like shit clumped everywhere. You get initial wipe to make sure things are clean, or if you knew there was a clean break, then you can go in right away and you get the bulk of it off, and then you go into the shower and you get a really squeaky clean setup. It doesn't work if you're Zach Amico and it's just explosive diarrhea every few hours of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like it only works if you're Sheldon Cooper. So like
I've always like, because I don't know, just the way my arms are short, or I've never been able to position myself correctly where I can like effectively wipe front to back.
I'm sorry, but yeah, it must be those short arms, Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else could it be?
It's definitely your short arms, dude.
I don't know. I've never been able to reach all the way around and do a front to back wipe where I like lift up and like reach and reach the hole and wipe front to back.
So
I've always done the move where I lift my balls up with my left hand and then go in between my legs with my right hand and then pull forward and stop before I even get close to my balls.
All right. So this is why podcasts are so important. And this is why you need men's groups in podcasts. I heard Big Jay Okerson talk about how Dan Soder taught him how to wipe his butt because he never learned because he was raised by a single mother and a stepdad. Yeah. So Jay was a little fat kid and he would take a shit and then he would stand up and the shit would get everywhere. And then he would take toilet paper and wipe his ass and it would be a big project.
Yeah, I've
And
heard of
Dan
people
was
that stand and wipe.
and Dan's like, no, you gotta lean to one side and open the cheeks before they close and wipe. Start there so it's not smeared everywhere. And so, like, Jay was in his like 30s before he even knew to do that. Because
Okay.
once you get in a habit, you just fucking in a habit.
Yeah, it feels like it's always we like in this country we just have an inefficient method of cleaning our ass. Like we
The
should
bidet,
have
yeah.
bidets, and then if we're going to wipe at all, there should be like an extender, like one of those gopher grabbers that you use like to get stuff off the high shelf. Like, there needs to be like some way to actually like effectively reach into your ass and like wipe up, the last bit.
So, like I said, I do the shower, which is great, but I think the bidet. I think the one that I saw that looks the most interesting would be like, I think it's Switzerland or like Denmark. They have the bidet with the warm water and the water temperatures, but it's not coming up from the toilet that you sit on, which I
Yeah,
kind of do like.
it's like a
It's like
separate
it's
thing.
it's like a wand. So you take like a wand like
Whoa.
from like a shower like thing that you would pull down, and you go down over the front like this, and then you hit the buttons, and you can kind of direct it, and it shoots the water up.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I've used a bidet before, and it is nice.
I've never used a bidet.
It is like you do realize like how much shit you're leaving just by wiping, because like when you use a bidet, you're spraying everything out,
Yeah.
and then you want to pad it dry with some TP. But yeah, just wiping your ass, you do just have doo doo ass all day.
So, yeah, so like I said, I've been working at home now for like a decade, so that's probably when I started this. Is I just wake up in the morning, go take a shower immediately afterwards, and then if we got a second run sometime during the day, I literally just pop in the shower again.
Yeah,
I shower 3 or 4 times a day as it is,
that's
but
crazy,
but
dude.
I don't use soap.
I shower 3 or 4 times a month.
I use soap maybe once a month. So, I'm just like I'm at the like I don't know how like Jordan Jensen, she talks about it a lot or whatever. Like I'll go to the treadmill in the morning and I'll be on the treadmill for like an hour sweating, and then I work out or whatever. So you're covered in that. So if you don't shower, you feel like sticky and gross and muggy.
Yeah,
All you got to do is hop in the shower and rinse. You don't have to even whatever. You just have to rinse the salt and stuff off you. You don't even need soap and water. You just need the water. So it's just a rinse, and then you get out and you feel like $1,000,000. I don't know why you would leave that film on you. You don't feel like you have a film on you for not
with
showering?
with inflation the way it is,
Are
not
you
what it
paying for
used
your
to be.
water? Are you paying for the water at the house?
No, I just mean $1,000,000 ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, uh,
Dude, my memes are betraying me.
I don't even look at them, dude. Airdrome token is normally been sitting around $1.25 to $1.50. It went all the way down to 88 cents. It's back up to about $1.05.
Dude, fart coin plummeted today.
People are gonna have to pull their fart coin out so they can pay for their taxes and stuff. Did you get a check? Did anybody else get a check from the COVID?
No.
I got a COVID check.
Recently?
I didn't qualify for any payments during COVID. And so I guess they changed the law. So I got a check for $1,407 on Biden's way out. So yeah, I didn't get anything back during COVID though. So like I worked all through COVID. I was an essential worker. Um, but
By the way,
so it felt good to get a check.
you'd be surprised how many people in this country cannot pronounce that word.
What, essential?
Essential.
Oh yeah, you said yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's all fucking day, dude.
I got some. If you listen to me long enough, there's some words that I can't pronounce.
Dudes, all day I get people calling me asking for the we have a product with the the name of which is Essentials, you know.
Yeah.
And so they call me, and I don't know, dude. People in their like 50s and 60s, like adults who presumably like went, made it all through school and have been living their life, like, are looking at this word and saying, "Yeah, I'm calling about the existentials. I'm calling about the essentials. What's it called? The thing is the as the trenchals." And I go, "You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude."
I will say, when you've said a word your whole life and you've never read it,
Yeah,
and essentials is not one of those words. I'm trying to think of a word that the first time I had to read it or whatever, like chameleon, like maybe not chameleon. Yeah, I guess chameleon's one of them. There's just certain words that like you read them your whole life and then you have to go say them one day and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't know what this
That's
is."
fine. I mean, that's
And
like
then vice versa.
that's fine. Like
Yeah.
yeah, if you've read a word and you just don't know the pronunciation, you could, you fix that easy. I'm talking about like people who were like they seem to not know how to speak English, and they grew,
Yeah.
they grew up in fucking Tennessee or whatever. So they
Contrary to Raphael's belief, English is a very difficult language for a lot of people to learn.
Yeah, even the people that grow up here in America and go to
Yeah.
American schools will graduate from high school subliterate. Like they can't fucking read or write. It's crazy, dude.
So I wish they would have told me this when I took language in school because I failed miserably and just gave up on learning languages. I tried to take Spanish in high school, and I can
Yeah.
speak un poco Spanish. That's it.
Mhm.
El un poco Spanish. But I wish they could have told me because I heard somebody, oh, it was Melania Trump because she speaks like 5 languages. She was in an interview and they were saying, "Oh, you're so intelligent. You speak like 5 languages." And she said, "Oh, no, 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 no. You only need like 150 words in each language to like communicate." So she's like, It's not that impressive." And she was just like she said thank you and she kind of like downplayed it. But then I looked it up and come to find out like she's telling the truth. Like if they just told me like if you memorize and understand 150 Spanish words and here they are roughly, and then figure out how to use them together, you can communicate in Spanish. Or you want to learn Italian, here's the 150 words, and then you
Right.
kind of like cycle around.
I,
That would be a much easier task for me to figure out a language than they just start you off. And I thought like I was learning a second language. You're not learning a second language. You're learning uh, enough to get by to be
yeah, because I think
bilingual.
with language, like to become like fluent or proficient in it in any meaningful way, really is just a matter of immersion. Like
Yeah.
you could do like Rosetta Stone or Duolingo all day, but you're not going to be able to like retain you're not going to have like what it takes to make like hold a
Yeah.
conversation until you actually, I guess, just like move to Mexico for a couple months.
No, I've heard that. My cousins, when I was trying to learn Greek for a little bit, and they were like, "Oh, don't even go to Greek school. Next time everybody goes to Greece, just come with us for like 2 months. By the end of 2 months, you'll you won't be able to write it, but you'll understand enough to get by, and you'll be
Yeah,
speaking it."
that
Yeah,
goes to show you how benevolent America is, like as a country, that you can come to America and just never learn English, and
yeah.
it just continue to exist in America.
I worked in a pizza restaurant when I was like 19 or so, and they're owned by this Turkish family. They were so good. But their brother came over from Turkey. He was there like a decade, and all he did was hang out with his family, and he didn't speak any English. So after like a decade, he still didn't speak much, like
Dude,
maybe
it's so
just a little bit.
yes,
So he just didn't. Even his whole family was like, "You're not even trying because like you would accidentally pick it up by now if you even
yeah,
tried a
it's
little
so
bit."
weird. Like I've met people who have like lived in the States for decades who like still don't speak English.
Yeah.
Like their son or daughter has to translate for them.
Th-
And
I
but
just
I've met a guy on the flip side of that. I got a friend who grew up in Syria and just would like when like the half hour a night that he had internet
yeah.
would download like episodes of Seinfeld
It's
and
like-
learn and was like fluent in English before he even got to America. And like you would
Kids to
talk to him.
America. Hey, what about these subways?
Yeah, you would talk to him, and he just be like, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." No, he was fluent. Not only was he fluent in English, he like obviously you could tell he was Syrian, like he's brown and
I want to
fucking.
do more.
But he didn't really have a like an accent. Like
Yeah.
I mean, he had kind of like a a little bit of something going on, but what he
Hello,
did.
America.
Yeah, he really like the way he spoke English fluently
Yeah.
and sounded like he had pretty much grown up in America. But no,
Yeah.
he was like a refugee. So that's like another interesting thing. I guess it's just a matter of I guess really how much effort are you willing to put in? We got motherfuckers coming over here and they'll just live here for 30 years and never even take the time to learn our language. Now Trump is sending them back.
That Turkish guy that didn't speak English or whatever, and I had to work with him all the time. He spoke very little English, and maybe he was faking. But I had a sore neck, and I was like sitting at the thing after like a long day, and he was mopping, and I was just sitting here like rubbing my neck like this. He just comes up from behind and like starts like rubbing my shoulders, and he's just like older Turkish man. So I was like, is this cool or is he being gay or whatever? And then he put his hand on my head and goes and like cracks my head like a chiropractor without me being aware of it. I was like, yo, dude, you cannot do that, dude. I was just sitting there minding my own business. He gives me a shoulder thing and then cracks my neck like a chiropractor. Oh, that was so scary, dude. I was like, I had never even known what a chiropractor is. I was like living like, I felt like Theo Vaughn, dude. I didn't even know what a chiropractor was, and this guy cracked my neck, so I was scared.
Yeah, well, chiropractors is like quack science. It's not even real. Like they do more harm than anything.
I'm literally sitting on a stool that like was sewn in, like bolted into the ground with like a padded thing on it, like that spins, those stools at like like a counter. Yeah, I'm just sitting at that after a long day working at a pizza shop, and he just cracks my neck when I was like sitting up, dude. And he's like, "It's good," and I was like, "No, never fucking do that again, dude." Friggin'.
Whoa! What happened to the sound? Oh no! Oh no! What happened to the sound? You're muted. You're muted. What happened? Oh no. Patreon. Please subscribe to the Patreon. No, there's no sound. We lost you. Did my thing break? No. No, it's everything. Yeah, well, no, your sound is gone. We should probably wrap this up anyway. I gotta work in the morning. Okay, so they're saying that I'm audible, so they can hear me. We can't hear Dave. Patreon.com patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. Big things coming to the network, the Billionaire Podcast Network. Did you fill her up? Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. And then obviously the Crowder Boys every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's youtube.com/@thecrowderboys, patreon.com/thecrowderboys. We'll have some t-shirts at some point. We need money. Please give us money. Yeah, my memes are all just bleeding out. I'm losing all my money in memes. Okay. Okay. Dave's audio is well, no, we can't. No one can hear you. They can hear me. My thing is working, but yours is like cut out. I don't know what happened. Dave. Maybe that's God telling us to go ahead and wrap it up. Oh yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh no. Oh no. Everything was going so swimmingly. Now we've been derailed. No, I can't hear you, man. We should go ahead and wrap it up anyway. I do have to go to sleep. So I think we had a good talk. Is good. All right. Well, hey folks, that's the show. We'll say here. Everybody bow your heads. Let's say a quick prayer. Father God, thank you for bringing us together and letting us join together in this wonderful community, and thank you for this blessed life that we all get to live. And this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you all. Blessings be upon you. Please be safe, and praise be to the Most High, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Good night.